Peace, family. Welcome to another edition of Moorish World TV. I'm your host, Brother Tahaka Bey. Don't become the content. I'm warning you, don't become the content. Now I'm just welcome to another edition of Moorish World TV. I'm your host, Brother Tahaka Bey, and tonight we are going to have a discussion. Since I've done the video about the mother planes, the baby planes, and the sort of the sort, if you will, many people have come out and wanted to have a conversation, but they were making the conversation on Facebook pages, in the comment section of Moorish World TV. So I figured that, listen, I'm a liberal type of guy. If you believe in a certain aspect of history, then, and I disagree with it, then I want to give you the opportunity to help me and others understand. The great God says the burden of proof is on you. Now, let's be clear. When you're dealing with topics of this matter, the burden of proof is on both parties to show what is logical and what is reasonable. You have to understand that. What is logical and what is reasonable. So I'm not going to expect Aleem Allah, who is in the background waiting to come on. I'm not going to expect him to go and show me him using the restroom on the mother plane. I'm not going to expect that. However, I am going to expect logic and reason. I am going to expect that. So when you start talking about Wesley is trying to respond to this, but it's not going to work today, family. Give me 1 second. Let me do one thing. I want to make sure my lights are right. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure my lights are right. Yeah, once again, I don't expect everyone. I don't expect. Why you all in my street? I don't expect everyone to have all of this piles of evidence, but I do expect logic and reason. With that being said, tonight's show is about the mother plane. The probability that it exists according to the teachings and description that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad give us. That's what this show is about. Give me 1 second. Let me adjust my camera. So yeah, that's what this show is about. The probability. You follow me? The probability. So with that, we're going to bring in Brother Aleem Allah. And again, if you hit the link, I want you to be respectful. If you hit the link, I want you to show that you are civilized and not uncivilized and articulate yourself as best you can. Also, if I get too hype and I get too excited and passion and want to talk over you, all you got to say to me is, come on, Grand Sheik, hold up, let me finish, Grand Sheik. Don't be condescending. If you know me, you know I get excited sometimes, but I mean no disrespect. But I'm doing my best to to work on that part of my excitement side. But with that being said, let me bring my brother in to introduce himself. Brother Aleem Allah, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Just a little bit to introduce yourself to the Morse World TV citizens. Let's go. Thank you for joining us, brother.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Salam, bro. How you doing?
Wa alaikum
You
salam,
hear
my
me?
brother. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so yeah, I came into to the nation of the teachings of Elijah Muhammad right at the beginning of 2013.
Mm-hmm.
The way I came into it, I look back at my life, how growing up as a black man, I'm from Louisiana, but Mississippi like second home to me. So a lot of things I used to question in my younger days as I got older, in my 20s and everything. A lot of stuff I used to ask questions about God and stuff like that. Because one of the things about me growing up in school, I was great in science, mathematics, spelling, dealing with the definition of words. And like I say, coming into the teachings of Islam taught by Elijah Muhammad in 2013, it's a life story how I came into this life. So, me applying the teaching to my life, you got to read, study, and apply the teachings to your life. One thing I just heard you say something about, you got to work on your excitement. You being excited, you interrupt people when they talking and you don't mean no disrespect. That's great that you said that because at the beginning of the day, you'll hear me say at the beginning and ending of the day, you know what I'm saying? Always dealing with the alpha and omega. So when one got to work on self, that's you literally admitting what you got to work on. And one thing about me, I can respect the person that can tell me what you have to work on. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody got something in them that they got to work on. That's called being truthful, regardless of the circumstances. That's one of the laws of Islam from Allah and the person of Master Muhammad through the messenger. The restricted laws say no lying, speak truth regardless of the circumstance. So me coming into Islam, it's pretty much a life situation how I came into it. Because one of the things you'll hear a lot of people that claim Islam, no matter what your walk of Islam, whether you Sunni, Moor, or because I deal with some Moors brothers up at my job and stuff too. But me and him got a great understanding with each other. It ain't no disrespect. We don't disrespect each other. We more awakened than we are of a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Or
Right.
one of the spooky Sunni Muslims, Orthodox Muslims. They spooky. You know what I'm saying? When you deal with spooky people, there's no listening to understand with them. It's pretty much they listen to respond. So it's the same thing as you said. When you interrupt, you're not doing it in the form of disrespect. So like, I listen to understand, and I'm always trying to apply the teachings in every aspect of my life. Because one of the things about it, when you start living this life and you walk this path, like you got to be willing to lose people. You got to be willing to be misunderstood. You got to be willing to be mocked. You got to even go through the like you said. We all got them devil's foot on our neck. We do. We really do got them people's foot on our neck. But I learned that when it comes to them devils, them ain't the ones you got to be cautious of. It's us that you got to be cautious of when you walk in this life, because your trials really gonna come from us. So me coming into Islam, taught by Elijah Muhammad, uh, it showed me a lot of questions that I had in my past life. How we black people operate. Why we like black men just hang around and they don't do nothing but drink, smoke, party, talk about women, and talk about sports or whatever. It made me really understand why we like that, and that's us being blind, deaf, and dumb. We ignorant to the knowledge of self. We ignorant to the knowledge of the God of heavens and earth. Rather you call him God or Jehovah or whatever, but Allah covers all the attribute names. But when it comes to Master Prophet Muhammad, Messenger Elijah Muhammad said Farah is a name by itself, which is the 101. attribute name of God. So it's really technically now, according to what the message teach, there's 101 names of God, attribute names of Allah. Allah itself is 100, but as the messenger said, Allah is all the original people. So whether you are more Christian, Jew, Hebrew Israelite, you could be an atheist, you could be whatever you want to claim to be. But at the beginning and end of the day, I look at all black people as Allah. That's what I look at as. But like the messenger said, a righteous person is a God, and an unrighteous person is a God. So rather, and even in the five principles of Islam, Allah is to proceed. He precedes good and evil. So even you go into the lessons, the teachings, ask the question, why did God make devil? To show forth his power, to show that he's the true and righteous God, and he wouldn't fall victim to the devil's civilization. I'm paraphrasing on the lessons, but like I said, when it comes to these teachings right in exact when you literally live them. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
let,
live them.
let me say this. Let me say this. I'm looking at the chat and two questions people asking. Uh,
Go ahead.
uh, uh, why you in the dark? Could you cut your light on?
Well,
Number one, and number two, they want to see what's your breakdown and your concepts of the mother plane existing.
okay. First question on the person that want to know why I'm in the dark. I'm actually traveling back from Louisiana, heading back home to Kansas City, Missouri. You can look out there right now. You don't see nothing but darkness out there, huh? It ain't nothing but fields out there, bro. So I'm on the highway. I'm on the highway heading home. I actually I do some selling of watermelons. I got a black farmer back home. He produces watermelons, so I'm coming down here to pick up a load of watermelons to take back to sell, make me
Brother,
some money. I was,
send me some to Baltimore. How I get a load?
huh?
How
I,
do I get a load to Baltimore? I need a load.
sure, I could give you his number. You could work it out with him. He could even grow the. I just found out today he sell the yellow watermelons too. He grow the yellow watermelon. So, I'll give you the plug. I'll give you the phone number to
All right,
him, and
email me to
yes,
huckabay at
sir.
gmail.com. But now let's get to this mother plane. Let's get to
All
this
right,
mother
bet.
plane.
Okay, cool. Let's get to it.
You were bold enough to hit the link about the mother plane. So let's stick right with this mother plane thing. And let's see if anybody else hit the link later. So you said you watched my video,
Right.
and what did you gather from my video? Are you gathering that I'm saying that it doesn't exist? Or what are you gathering?
I gather that you actually admitted that it exists. You ain't saying that it don't exist. You just lacking the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of it, which is what leads to you asking questions. It ain't nothing wrong with you asking questions. Because if you
Okay,
ask
so
questions,
if you was to help a child to understand that it does
right.
exist, could you break it down for us? And then I'll come back when you finish. Try not to be so long in case other people try to chop in. You know what I mean? But
All right, cool.
try to help us to understand the however you can evidence whatever that it does exist according to Elijah Muhammad construct. All right, and then
Right.
I'll
Oh,
respond.
okay. So I'm gonna play a little brief of this video real quick because I want people to go on this go on YouTube and you can go to this white group. They're a couple, they got this show called Reddick, Reacted, Reacted, called Redacted. So hold on, let me make sure I'm looking at this right. Oh, it's Redacted. It's RED.
This is the thing. This is the thing. We don't want to get the stream taken down, so you can't play other people content. But explain to us what it is. Put a
Okay.
still on.
All right. Well, on the Redacted show, in the Redacted show, they give you some information. You know what I'm saying? They started this group about probably a couple of years now. I've been watching them. Even on this one live, one of these videos of theirs, they talk about how Trump is going to take over the UFO program that the Pentagon is hiding from people, because they want to put the information out there. Trump want to put the information out. So you can go to the Redacted show. One of the things people can do, you can look up these two UFO groups because I be researching and I watch these two groups right here. One of them called Project Blue, and the other one is Majestic 12. Majestic 12 was actually orchestrated by what's the president? I think Roosevelt. I can't remember the first name, but he's one of them. So they Majestic 12. You can research about it. It's even in the FBI file. So you can go to that information and go study about the mother plane, about the wheels and everything. You can also go look up the Dogon tribe. The Dogon tribe is a black tribe located in Africa. And this is one of the tribes that I actually, when I first came into Islam, when I started studying our history as black people, this tribe, the Dogon tribe, actually is the one that was the one that created the star system, like the white man used the Orion belt or whatnot, the Sirius system or whatnot. These systems that a lot of the white people actually be studying come from the Dogon tribe. They also is a tribe who talked about UFOs or extraterrestrials coming down, teaching them about the astronomy, how to map out the star system and everything. It got a lot to do with astronomy, mathematics, science. Because when it comes to us as black people, especially the black man invented science and mathematics. So when the messenger says study the white man, he make no excuses for his failure. You come to find out when you study what the white man learning, he actually come out of our history. Everything he learned, everything.
Let me. Can I chime in?
One of
Can
the
I chime
sources
in?
that
Can I chime in? So the first thing you direct me to was some Europeans online called Redacted or something like that. This is the
right.
question I need to ask from a theological perspective. Can a devil fool a Muslim?
No, not nowadays.
There we go. Not nowadays. Do the devil tell the truth?
Not nowadays. Say
So
what?
why do the devil tell the truth?
According to what the messenger said, even some of the white folks want to get
No,
rid
no,
of
no, no, no.
get
I'm
rid
only
of
asking.
the devil's work.
I'm asking the question.
Yes,
Do
yes, I would.
do the
Yes, sir, I
devil
would
tell the
say they
truth?
do. Because one thing, yes, sir, if you really awaken, if you really look at the white man, the devil tell on themselves.
Okay,
They
okay.
tell you what you need to hear.
All right, all right, all right.
Go ahead.
What I'm getting to is the white man the devil? Is the white
You
man the
breaking
devil
up,
according
bro.
is
If you
no, that's
say,
you breaking up. Is the white man the devil according to the NOI?
oh, yes, sir, the white
Check one,
man is the
two. Can y'all
devil.
hear me?
Huh. But what is a devil?
No,
What
I'm
is a
asking you.
devil though?
According to NOI, is the white man the
Right,
devil?
right, right. The white, yes,
Is
sir,
the,
the white man is
is
the
the white
devil. But
so so
I can
so
ask anybody.
hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. I don't want to get too
Go
far from
ahead.
that because I want to make a point. I want to frame my point. I want to frame my point.
Okay, go ahead.
If the white man is the devil, he's the skunk of
Okay.
the planet Earth according to NOI doctrine. Why is it the
Yes.
first thing you reference was a European to qualify that the mother plane exists? Now,
Once again,
that's one. That's one thing. That's
okay.
one thing I want to
Go
say.
ahead. Go ahead.
Now,
That's the question you asked. That's the question.
no. That's
Okay,
rhetorical.
so I'm gonna
But
ask you
then
a
I'm gonna
question.
say
Go
this.
ahead.
I'm gonna say this. Do you know
Okay.
how many Europeans identify unidentified flying saucers every year? Do you know that you can have so many Europeans saying that they've seen this and seen that, some true, some not. So you can pick anyone you want at any given time. Now, With that being said,
I understand what you're saying, bro.
why don't we qualify it with what Elijah Muhammad said, not any old person on the internet saying they seen something? Because at any given moment, a person
Bro,
tonight is going to say they seen something, and then you'll say, "Look, they seen it," and then another person can say, "You can say that." But what did Elijah Muhammad
what?
say? And we can qualify it.
Well, bro, let me explain something to you. First and foremost, I never said that I didn't see it, because one of the things about proving the point about the teachings, if you really know the truth, and if the messenger said he said, study the white man, he make no excuses for his failures. Now, I'm a black man, I don't deal with excuses from
Right.
nobody. But one of the things I have, like me traveling up down this highway right now, I could show you something in these skies right now, that this thing right here is lit, it's lit up. But if you look at the way it actually sits, like this dark road I'm on this dark highway right now, and I drive damn near every month to come here, to come to Louisiana from Kansas City, Missouri. So when it come to baby planes, I done seen them in the sky myself.
Brother, let me ask you a
These
question.
things that this is. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. So, whatever you
Go
see
ahead.
that you cannot explain, do you attribute that to be a baby plane? How do you How do you
Yeah.
define it emphatically that that's a baby plane? This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm
And
saying.
I'll
Any
finish.
anything.
I'm finna explain.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna
Anything.
explain that to you.
Okay,
Go
okay. Let
ahead.
me just finish. Let me finish my question. Whenever a European says we seen something in the sky, whenever there is
You fin-
people in Japan or another country say that we seen something in the sky, it's easy for NOI to
Okay.
say, there it is, that's it. However, what I'm
I'm not
saying is,
coming for
and
that.
if,
I'm not coming for
oh,
that
oh,
standpoint.
let me finish. If you see something in the sky, Umar said he's seen something in
Okay.
the sky. How do you
Okay.
emphatically say that that's a baby plane?
Okay. And I'm gonna explain it to you, bro. Because you actually making statements and asking a question. I'm listening to understand you. You
Absolutely.
making statements and you asking a question. So I know what you an example. So I'm not. But to identify if it's a baby plane, it's gonna sit in the sky.
You're breaking up, brother. You're breaking up, brother. You're breaking up, brother. So I see the Empress wanted to come in. Empress, you can hit the link also. This is what I'm saying.
Like literally, that's what I'm saying. And
Yeah, he breaking up. He traveling, so he
in
kind of breaking up, which is not a good look. So let him get some reception while I talk. Let me let him get some reception while I talk real quick. So listen, brother, you breaking up. Breaking up.
can you hear
Let
me
me say
now?
this. I can hear you
Got
now.
me now?
There you go, brother.
All right, now let me explain that again. Let me explain that because I had to turn that Wi-Fi off. That's what caused my service to actually act up. But first and foremost, bro, this you see them fields out there, bro? Y'all see
Yeah.
how dark that is out there? That ain't nothing but farmland fields and everything, woods in the distance. I traveled this highway plenty of times. If my wife was in this truck, she would even tell you she saw it herself, which is baby planes. Baby plane always appears in the sky. You just gotta be. You just happen to be. You have to be looking up in order to see this. Like in order for you to just see it, and identify this as a baby plane because don't nothing just sit in the sky flickering different colors, and at the same time 1 minute is right there in another in
Let,
one position, then another minute is in another position.
brother,
Nothing sits in the sky doing that, bro.
let me tell you my position. My position is
Go
not
ahead.
that there is something out there. I'm saying there's something out
Right.
there. However,
Okay.
saying something out there. But I'm saying what Elijah Muhammad described, it doesn't add up. Now let me.
I'm fin- bro, I'm trying, you gotta you
I'm about
gotta
to show you why. I'm about to show
go
you
ahead.
why.
I'm about to make it add up.
All right, go make it add up. Take 5 minutes and make it add up so I can.
Okay, right. Okay, let me give you another understanding. Let me ask you this question right here.
Uh-huh.
Have y'all ever heard this old Negro spiritual song, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot? And you ever heard that old Negro spiritual song before?
Yes, I have.
Have you ever paid attention to the wordings of that song?
Yes, I have. Do you consider that evidence that it
I'm saying,
exists?
look, sir, that is evidence because if you listen to the song, it says "Swing low, sweet chariot." It ain't coming. What the messenger teach about the baby plane, about the mother plane and the baby plane. This stuff, and I listened to your video. I listened to your other one the other night. I mean, last night as I was traveling back home to the south. I listened to your video. But the messenger don't teach that the mother plane is coming to save nobody. The mother plane and the baby plane is not coming here to save black people, white people, brown people, yellow people, red people. And you read it in your other video.
Hold up, brother.
You
Let me.
talk
I need to respond to that, brother. The plane was built to destroy the devil in the devil's
the,
world for the black
the
people.
devil civil right. Listen, sir.
No, 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 no.
It's
Hold up.
coming.
Let's be clear.
Go ahead, bro.
Was the plane created to kill and destroy the devil
The devil
civilization?
civil right, which is
And
America.
okay,
What
which is
right,
America.
which
So
is
this is
America.
so basically what I'm saying is people are
Go
waiting
ahead.
on this event to happen.
But the thing is this here. And it still goes back to what you said the other day about literally self. When it comes to save self, one who follow the messenger ain't waiting. If you really truly
But bro,
submit to listen,
that's
bro, you gotta listen real quick. Can't cut me off now. You say you got to work on listening. But one thing
but
about
you're
if you
long-winded,
truly,
brote. When you say a sentence,
I
let me
know I am
respond.
because I have a,
When you
bro,
say
I
a
got to
sentence,
prove
let
the
me
point.
respond. Please.
Bro, I'm making a statement. I ain't asked you a question. If I ask you a question, then you can
No,
ask me
I
a
want to
question
respond
and
to
make
your
a statement.
statement though, because you're doing run-ons.
Go ahead, bro.
You do one thought and then you go into another thought. So go ahead, get the one thought out,
Bro,
and then let me
I'm on
respond.
I'm on the bro, I'm still on the baby plane, bro. I'm still above the baby plane. I'm still on what the messenger teach. You the one not following what I'm saying to you. So my point is this here. Yeah, you want to ask the question. I have no problem with you asking questions. I'm gonna answer your question and I'm proving the teachings right and exact. At the beginning of the day, you talking about what the messenger said that the devil is going, that the UFO, the mother plane, was coming to destroy the devil's civilization. It is. It's gonna do that part. But at the beginning, because at the beginning of the day, if one deal with scriptures, especially in that Bible, the Bible tells you about God destroying the world with fire. That's Revelations. Now, three things about this fire that I really understand as following Allah through the messenger way of life. These three fires is this right here, and it's science, mathematics. It's not spooky. When the messenger was talking about the mother plane destroying the devil civilization, this is literally biblical too. It's in the Bible. So it tells you that God was going to destroy the world with fire. He already did it with water, but the last one will be with fire. These are the three fires that's going to destroy this country right here, this civilization right here. Because as the messenger said, Allah is gonna make an example out of America even to Europe.
Hey, brother, you're preaching
So
right now. You're
I'm
not
not
bringing.
preaching, I'm
Hold on,
teaching.
hold on, hold on, hold on.
I'm,
Let me stop.
I'm
Let me stop.
teaching you, bro.
I need to stop. I
you,
need to stop for a second. I need you
you
to
gotta
stop for a second.
listen, bro.
Hold up, hold up. Listen, brother. Listen, brother.
You
Listen,
gotta
brother.
work on
Listen,
that,
brother.
bro. You really gotta
Oh, no,
work
no,
on
no, no,
that.
no, 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 no,
I'm
no.
trying to prove you.
I got
I'm
to
trying to
interrupt
prove
you,
you.
bro. Please
Go
allow me to
ahead, bro.
interrupt you, brother. You
I
are
just told you
preaching
free
right,
fight.
brother. You are
That's not
preaching,
preaching.
bro. Listen, let
I
me
didn't give you
explain to
no
you.
scriptures.
Let me, brother. Let me explain to you what preaching is. You
Well, I
are
know what preaching
you are
is.
regurgitating you are regurgitating every
What?
piece of literature that Elijah
Of the
Muhammad
message.
has taught you.
Right,
How
right. And bro,
let
listen.
brother, you gotta
I
let me
just
finish,
said
brother. You gotta let me finish. You're
you don't
listen,
want to be
listen.
proven wrong.
No,
That's
no,
what I
no,
see.
brother, no, brother, listen. If I would allow you to just
I'm not.
regurgitate, if I would allow you to regurgitate everything that Elijah Muhammad has taught, we will be here
Bro,
all day because from
we on the
1930,
mother
let
plane,
me
bro.
finish.
We talking about the mother plane, bro.
Oh,
We talking about the mother plane, the baby plane. You just ain't got no patience to listen and understand.
brother,
That's your problem. No, I'm trying to. I'm no. You talk. You asked the question: was the mother plane gonna
and
destroy
you're
the
not
devil's
getting to the
civilization?
point.
Right? I am getting to the point because I just told you. I'm you, bro. I'm a God, the black man God. You God. At the beginning and of the day, all black people is God.
I'm
The
gonna let you
problem
talk so
is,
people can see. I'm
right.
gonna let
So
you talk so, and
that's
then
all
I
you
want
got
you
to
to come
do.
and watch yourself.
I thought you said you were gonna actually work on listening. Not, but I'm not gonna get offended behind you literally interrupting though. I'm not gonna even get because it is really a disrespect for to interrupt somebody when they trying to break something down to
Brother, you
you.
long-winded.
You
We only
call it.
got an hour to talk,
I
brother.
know I'm long-winded. That's what we followers of the message to do. The black man speak 400 words per exceedingly well per minute, sir. What you talking about? I supposed to be able to show and prove the teachings by literally talking to get you to understand.
Bro,
Communication and understanding go one in the same
this is
together
bad.
with me. No, it's bad because you ain't listening to understand.
All
You
right.
asked the question.
Somebody
You
else gonna
stated
have to
about.
call in, brother. Brother, you're not going nowhere
Yeah,
with
I
this.
know.
I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
was trying to get.
Somebody else gonna have to call in, man, because this doesn't make sense, man. He's just talking and talking and talking. Can somebody from the Nation of Islam that love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad come in and please give us something precise that we can work with? I mean, um, it's just it's I'm telling you, we only got an hour in here, and we're talking about the mother plane, and he was talking about it's kind of rough. Now let me get back to my point. Now I'm sorry that I had to click them off, but we can't be here for a whole hour going over every lesson that was taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We're not going to get nowhere. So if y'all are offended that I had to get the brother out of here, then hey, I apologize, but I cannot allow us to sit here for an hour. For a whole hour, and we really haven't addressed the conversation. Now, here's where I stand with the mother plane. One, I deal with reality, and as taught in the Nation of Islam, I deal with actual fact. You follow me? Now, I want y'all to listen to this. Whenever I research something, I research the beginning, the middle, and the end. The beginning of the conversation of the mother plane is that it was built in Japan. So the first thing that I look at is how reasonable is that? That a 1.5 mile by 1.5 mile structure was built in Japan, somewhere ending up at 1929. And at 1929, it takes its first flight in Japan. Now, as this structure is being built, it was orchestrated by Master Farad Muhammad, a brown scientist, a yellow scientist, and a black scientist. There is no description who these scientists is. There is no description where in Japan this took place. Your hand is in the wax of your head. There is no description. There is no description. The import or the hauling of all of this steel. There is no evidence that this black scientist, this brown scientist, where did they come from? When did they go? Where is the passport? Where did they register? Where is the land where this thing took off? There should be a big crater in the ground when it took off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm asking, that is the beginning. That is the beginning. And in fact, why would a sovereign country like Japan allow foreigners to build such expensive, expansive, and extreme technology on their sovereign land, on their sovereign land, on their sovereign? We don't need the details. We don't. Somebody said we don't reveal all the details, intricate details. The enemy try to duplicate it. I'm asking, how do you go on a sovereign land? That's the beginning. How do you go on a sovereign land and build something of this magnitude undetected in 1929? That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. I don't need the details. I don't need the details. And in fact, the military of Japan was top notch in 1929. The military of Japan was super top notch in 1929. And this is why the United States feared them. This is why the United States feared them. So you mean to tell me the likelihood that they could hide a structure this big that would take years and years to build? Because remember, these was built by human beings. That it would take all of these years to build undetected on an island about as big as California. That's the first part that we need to get past. Before we even get to the middle and the end part, we need to get past that part. We need to get, somebody said it was built in Nepal. It wasn't built in Nepal. It was built in Nippon. And that's Japan. So we need to get past that part first. Now, you have to understand what political looked like in 1929. You have to know, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. This guy say Master Farah Muhammad is God. He can make anyone do anything. That's not hard for him. Well, he couldn't make the police not put him out of Detroit. He couldn't make the police not put him out of Detroit. Come on. See, we make excuses for this. We make excuses for something that's unbelievable. So the point that I'm making is it's not logical. It's not reasonable that you can go into a sovereign country and build a spacecraft the size a half a mile long by a half a mile long. It's not logical. Somebody drop that link again. Let me see if I can drop the link. It's just not logical. And you don't have, listen, just as much as a person say they seen this and they seen that, man, people say they seen Santa Claus. People say they seen Santa Claus. In the news, every year, they be like, oh, we spotted Santa Claus leaving from the North Pole. Oh, he's going past California now. Oh, he's going, like, and you know how many children think they seen Santa Claus? Just because a person said they seen something, it didn't need to be logical. Now, the point that I'm making is, I'm not saying things don't exist in the night sky. That's what I want you to understand. What I'm saying is, it doesn't make sense that these crafts was built in Japan. That's number one. That's number one. It doesn't add up. Secondly, the way this is described, right? The baby planes got motor engines, but the mother plane can fly nonstop, never landing since 1929. Never landing. Remember this. These are human beings. Since 1929, they never swing down, swing low, and lift anybody up. They never swing down, swing low during Jim Crow era. Never. They never swing down, swing low when all our leaders was taken out. Never. They never swing down, swing low, sweet chariot for anything to benefit us. Family, are y'all listening to me? Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. I want you to press a 7 if you understand what I'm saying. And I'm not trolling NOI. I'm just making a logical point of view. They have not swing down, swing low to benefit us in 100 years. In 100 years. I'm talking about all the atrocities that we have suffered as a people, not swing down, swing low in 100 years. So when I say if it's up there, it's just a big bleacher. They're just watching us being brutalized, watching us being tortured, watching us suffer. Why would I want to align myself with somebody watch us being brutalized for 100 years? You ain't my friend. How you gonna be my friend and you watch me be brutalized? And then he went all back to the Dogon. He went all back to the Dogon. So you mean there's another mother plane? Because this one that Elijah was talking about was built and took flight in 1929. But when you went back to the Dogon, now that's a whole nother mother plane. So that's another mother plane now that Elijah wasn't even referring to. The mother plane that Elijah was referring to, he said Ezekiel is a vision, and this is the manifestation of that vision. So this is what's confusing. This is what confusing. It's very confusing that you're talking about the Dogon, but then you talk about Ezekiel. Ezekiel is a vision, clearly is a vision. And in 29 is the manifestation of that vision. And it's come to destroy the devil and his world. But I see the devil that you call that we call the European, I see him destroying everything. And he ain't, man, listen, we waiting on the Lord on this one. Exactly, Michael Smith. The Dogon was astronomers, and they say they came from the star Sirius, but they ain't never mentioned anything about no mother plane. All right, let's get in. Since nobody want to call in, let's get in. Now, one of the things that I want to point out is, let me see if I can bring this up like that. One of the things that I want to point out is how a brother named Sabir Muhammad, right? Brother named Sabir Muhammad, he pointed out a guy in 1986 witnessed what would be a mother plane. You know what I'm saying? What we have to believing is making believe. Listen. So I'm going to address some of the things that was on Facebook now, since don't nobody want to hit the because they know that it's kind of ridiculous. So a brother named Sabir Bey, right? Sabir Muhammad. He pointed out that this guy reported this link supposed to work. Hold up. Try this link right here. GS, the link don't work. That's the call-in link. Yeah, this to get on the channel link. This link should work. I just put one in there. Let me know if this link works. Somebody try this link. So look, let's talk about this. A guy named Sabir Muhammad talks about this sighting by a Japanese pilot in 1986. And I don't doubt that he's seen this at all. At all. But what I do doubt is this is what Elijah Muhammad was referring to. And here's why. You have a Japanese pilot. Claiming that he's seen a walnut-shaped object and two small aircraft with it. Here is my problem. This is a Japanese pilot, but he never referenced any historical facts about something like this being built in Japan. He never referenced anything. He say, I seen a mother plane and smaller planes, something to that nature, right? And because he used the term mother plane, they say, aha, that's the mother plane. But what I'm saying is, him being Japanese, it would be very easy for him to reference the Japan story. Japan is not that big in relation to the United States of America. There's no way that you could hide a construction that big. Now, again, my argument is not, my argument is not that something don't exist out there. My argument is that these are not black scientists, yellow scientists, and brown scientists work when something that you see in the night skies. You don't know what it is. I seen a brother do a video that somebody sent to me. He said that he was riding down the road. And the baby planes came down and he could see the bombs on them. When are they going to use these bombs? And I'm not doubting that these bombs might exist. All right, let's see if sis can break this down without being long-winded so I can respond. Peace, sis. Welcome back to Morris World TV. We got the Empress in the building, and I think she's going to elaborate on the subject matter. But let's not be long-winded so we won't be here all night, so we can go back and forth. The floor is yours, sis. Sister Empress Malika is in the building.
Yes, I'm hearing it echoing. Can you hear me?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. What was your question?
So,
Peace and blessings, family.
Peace. So, when I look at life on life terms. I don't deal with, people always talk about spookism, but I really don't deal with no spookism at all. So when we're talking about the mother plane and the mother plane exists, the first thing I do in my research, I look at the probability of this construction even happening, right? And so the story goes that it was built in Japan, and it's a mile and a half by a mile and a half in diameter, right? It was built by black man, yellow man, brown man. Very, very vague, but that's fine. When we look at something like that, we're looking at something maybe even bigger than a stadium that's going to be built. There is no historical reference outside of this story from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. There is not one iota of a shred of evidence in Japan that this took place. Japan is a sovereign country where in 1929 and even before 1929, you had to either have a passport or you had to register to come into the country. So I'm saying that there is no evidence that this event took place from the onslaught. Now, I'm not even getting to what we see in the night skies. From the onslaught, there is no evidence, not one shred in a sovereign country that this construction ever took place. Go ahead.
Okay, there was an echo, so I was trying to wait for the echo to finish. But anyway, so anyway, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, you were talking about the mother plane. Do you hear this echo? I don't know why.
Yeah, you might need headphones or something.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah, you might need headphones.
Okay, let me see. Hold on.
So I want y'all to understand what I'm saying. I'm not trolling the NOI. I'm not trolling the NOI. I'm just saying very simply that do we understand what a sovereign country is? Do we understand the political ramifications of bringing people from other nations to build something of this type in a sovereign country? Does that make sense logically? Doesn't make sense. That's what I'm saying. And you can't get me to believe that, okay, he said it and so it's so. No, you got to give me something better than that. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? You got to give me something better than that. I mean, if you can't give me nothing better than that, so we might as well believe in Easter bunnies. Like as a people, like so listen. As a people, we're looking for liberation. Let's be clear what this conversation is about. Can y'all hear? Is it bad reception on my end?
Yes, sir.
Look, as a people, we're looking for liberation. And we're looking for the most practical way to march from oppression to liberation. So it's very important that we question the methodologies that is given to us by those who came to lead us to make sure that we're moving right and exact towards that perfected liberation. And looking at certain schools of thoughts, just as I question the Moorish Science Temple of America, I question other school of thoughts also. And so let me bring the sister on. I think she can hear. Do you still got an echo? I think she still got an echo. Do you still got an echo? You might got to go out and come back in because you're supposed to click right in and that shouldn't be, everything should go smooth.
Okay, yeah, I did the same thing from last time, but I didn't have it.
I don't know why you got an echo. Let me see.
All right, let me try again.
Let me see something. So this is all I'm saying. This is all I'm saying. I'm saying that if we are moving towards liberation, so look, if we are moving towards liberation, then we need to see things in a way that it makes sense. Is it probable that 3 people, do you know how many people it would take to build a craft that long, that big? Do we know that? How can you hide that? How do you feed these people? Where are these people pooping? Where are these people peeing? What's going on? Are you all right now?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's good. So I don't know if you followed the thought, but did you follow the thought that I was talking about? The framework that Elijah Muhammad gives us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even talking about what we see in the night sky yet. I'm talking about the framework that Elijah Muhammad gives us is that this plane was built by black man, yellow man, brown man, led by Master Farah Muhammad. It was completed in 1929 and took flight. However, it was built in Japan. Japan is the size, give or take, of California. What's the probability that the manpower that it would take to build something of this magnitude could go undetected, unreported in any alternative history? That's the question I'm saying, because something of this magnitude, I'm thinking, I could be wrong, would have some sort of alternative documentation just because of the magnitude it would take to build it, the workforce it would take, where did the people sleep, where did the people poop, it's just the magnitude of this undertaking is not like anything we've ever imagined. Now, the host country is Japan. They would host this type of technology and this type of aircraft to be built on their sovereign land, but they don't possess the technology themselves to defend themselves when they are hit by an atomic bomb. I'm saying it doesn't make sense, but I'll yield the floor to you.
Yes, sir. Okay, so you said that they don't possess the technology to protect themselves when they're hit?
No, I said that the technology that it would take for this craft is so advanced, according to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and it's built on a sovereign land. The host land would be Japan. And I'm saying at that time, Japan did not possess the technology to defend themselves or to retaliate after the atomic bomb hit in the 1940s. But they hosted something of this magnitude that has been flying and rejuvenating itself for 100 years.
Well,
I'm saying logically it doesn't make sense. What do you say?
I would say what you're saying, I understand what you're saying logically, but this is an actual fact, and the planes are seen in our skies. And these are not American-built crafts. They're not European-built crafts. The technology is not something we've seen on this plane of existence. And the flight of the planes, we've never even experienced this type of speed in this realm. And so whether the people have the technology at that time to defend themselves from nuclear warfare, it really has nothing to do with who was able to put together that craft, which it says in the lessons that they didn't even know what they were building. Um, that part I don't understand, but I do know when they completed it, they had a ship that was the size of a football field, 15, half a mile by half a mile, which is described to be a human built planet. And so that took time to create. And this
Oh,
plane,
let me
yes.
say, so to your point, what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying is before we get to the quoting, because you're quoting Elijah Muhammad, you're
Right.
quoting Elijah Muhammad. I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying that, okay, I understand the quoting of Elijah Muhammad. I get it. I'm saying logically, outside of the quoting of Elijah Muhammad, how
Mm-hmm.
does this project take place in a sovereign country, undetected, unrecorded by any other source? And
Well,
not be
he didn't give us that information.
no, we should be able to find it. It should be public. It should it's
Okay.
we had, you said the size of what? A football field?
Yes, sir.
Let's imagine this. Let's imagine
Mm-hmm.
this. A
Mm-hmm.
sovereign country is facilitating something being built the size of a football field.
Mm-hmm.
The steel that it would take to bring in, the wiring it would take to bring in, the everything that makes the compartments for it to bring in, the halls for the baby planes to sit in. All of
Mm-hmm.
this stuff got to be brought in from somewhere. The
Right.
steel have to be manufactured, but there
Right.
is no outside source that this event ever took place in Japan. There's no way humanly possible that anyone can convince me without some alternative source that this event actually happened, because it
Right.
doesn't logically make sense. There's
However,
too much materials. It's too much materials and it's too much manpower for it to go undetected.
how did we build the pyramids? Have we figured that out?
Hold up.
Has the Supreme Science
No.
come
All
down
right.
to give
Let
us
me.
that
This
exact fact?
here's the difference between the pyramids and now. The
Mm-hmm.
pyramids is a whole long era time away. We've been far removed from that.
Mm-hmm.
1929 is the advancement of taking flight.
Mm-hmm.
1929, everything is recorded in the present.
Right.
1929 is not that far away. 1929 is not the Stone Age.
Right.
They had radios. It's not the
Mm-hmm.
Stone Age.
Right.
And everything, let me tell you something. In 1929, Japan had one of the most top secured military on the planet.
Right.
On the planet. So my point is, because I know they had a top secure military on the planet,
Mm-hmm.
and they were known to be able to defend themselves internationally on the war front, and this is why the United States used the atomic bomb, because of their military force.
Mm-hmm.
This project is taking place unrecorded.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. So
Well,
when we start talking about the stuff in the skies, I'm not doubting that it's things in the sky.
mm-hmm.
I'm not doubting that. The only thing I'm doubting is that what is said in the message to the black man does not add up. What is said in the fall, I think it's the fall of America, it doesn't add up to international relationships and sovereign nations. A sovereign nation at that time, going into the Depression, would not allow another foreigners to come in, utilize their nation to build something of that magnitude without them having access. You're not moving stuff around no Japan like that.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, let's say that what you're saying is true. Okay. That this actually didn't take place on that island or in Japan.
But it has to take place there because that's what Elijah Muhammad said.
Right. But he didn't give us all of those details.
No, he said Japan.
He said Japan, but he didn't give us the details that you were looking for in reference
No, we don't
to.
need the details. Listen, what
Okay.
I'm saying is we don't need any of the details. We
Mm-hmm.
can surmise. We can surmise that how much steel that this would take. We can surmise how much manpower it would take.
Right.
And if we consider building a skyscraper, right?
Mm-hmm.
The work that goes into build a skyscraper, the materials that it take to build a skyscraper. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
I'm saying that how do we logically rationalize that this took place undetected? All right, go ahead.
How do we logically and rationalize that it took place undetected? The mere fact is that we don't have evidence of that. We don't. None of us can tell you that it went undetected. We don't have that information. All we have are the lessons and the descriptions and the information provided to us. And outside of that, each individual has their own experience, their own footage of the planes today in 2026, or their own relationship based on their intuitive abilities. They're being able to communicate. We don't have that information from that time. We only can rely on the information that was given to us, that is in the books. And so, what you're looking for, or the questions that you're asking, are good questions, but we don't have that information. So what does it matter? I want to know, what does it even matter?
What,
I
what does it
respect.
what does it matter is to answer your question honestly, this is why it matters. Because we
Okay.
as a people have always been taught to look outside ourselves for something that's greater than
Correct.
ourselves. When in
Yes.
fact
Correct.
our greatness is within ourselves. And I would never
Mm-hmm.
depend on a spaceship that was built by human beings in 1929 and took flight and never came to my rescue during the time of the Jim Crow, during the time of the killing of our leaders, during the time of the oppression that we continue to suffer every day. I would never depend on that. I don't care
Right.
if they came to me in my backyard. The first thing I would ask them is, why didn't you defend us against what happened to Martin Luther King? Why didn't you
Right.
defend us against getting bit by dogs? Why didn't you defend us against, and if you was back there doing slavery, why didn't you come defend us while my people was in the field? What? See, these are the questions that I have. I don't have patience with somebody who has the technology that's superior to the enemy that you call the enemy, but he's sitting around on a mothership hovering above America just watching from the bleachers. I can't respect that. I can't follow that, because at the
I
end of the day, my people are dying every day. They are dying every day, and you're sitting up there in this movable earth, and you're just watching and waiting for what? Waiting for what? For the next one to die? For the next one to be brutalized? For the next one to be tortured? All the prisons are filled with us. You know what I mean? In the inner cities of America, where we are predominantly the people, our people are filled with those who have been falsely accused. They're filled with prisons that have been sent to the death penalty for things that they didn't even do.
Mm-hmm.
But this flying planet is sitting above us, watching all of this take place. How can I respect the flying planet and these bright scientists sit up there and watch my people being brutalized and destroyed? I
Well,
can't respect that.
well, it's not for us to focus on, because we've been given knowledge of self. And so, with all of the information in our midst, it said you would have leaflets dropping from the sky. The leaflets are the knowledge of self that comes in the people, that come knocking on everyone's door. If we are taught that Allah is a just God, every single one of us will be given an opportunity to experience knowledge of self. Now, whether we accept it or not, that's on us. So we are not, every one of us will be given the tools to get ourselves and to remove the rusty locks that keep us enslaved. Every one of us will be experience that opportunity. Whether we take it or not, that is really on us. But we have the time to work these mathematics out. So what we're doing together, we're not focusing on the mother plane. I'm not focusing on the plane, even though I know it exists. What I'm focusing on is the mother plane in me, the
So,
bombs of
so
knowledge that operate in me. So that
let me
when I
say this though. So that's
sorry.
metaphorical. That's metaphorical. I'm looking for literal. Now let me say
Mhm.
this. A lot of what I hear, even what you're saying and what the
Yes.
brother was saying before, it really, with all due respect, it
Hmm.
really sound like the remix of what the Christian philosophy used to give us. Like, we ain't got to worry about when Jesus coming. We
Hmm.
just know that he's coming. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
we should be waiting.
No, listen what I'm saying. What I'm saying. We don't got to We need to do things in such a way that when it does happen, we be ready. We'll be prepared. And these type of sentiments is Christian overtones with a new remix. But
Exactly.
because at the end of the day, there is no evidence that Jesus is coming back. But guess
Right.
what? You know how many people say they seen Jesus in the sky? It's many people throughout the years. Many
Right.
people. You know how many and so I see what appears to me. And I'm not saying that in the sky there's something. I'm not saying that it's not nothing.
Right.
I would never say that because I believe the universal creator of Allah is a great God. However, and anything's possible. However, to attribute it to a man-made planet built in Japan where there is no evidence, when we use terms like show and prove, when we use terms to be right and exact, we use terms to be to underscore that we don't believe in a mystery God. We don't believe in a spook God. We use all of these terms, but when we describe the mother plane, it sounds like a spook God. It sounds like a spook God, even if you've seen it, even if you heard it, even if you was taken up in it. There is nothing tangible about it. It sounds like a spook God.
Yes, sir.
That's what it sounds like. Now, whether it is or if it's not, I'm neither here and there. But two things that I stand on. The description that Elijah Muhammad gave us doesn't match practical international relationships with sovereign nations. Most importantly, Japan. Japan was a world power at that time. Don't forget that.
Right.
Japan had just beat Russia in 1904 in a war. So the whole point that I'm making is that if we can get aside the lessons for a second, sit them to the side and say, what is the practical? Is this practical and logical that this was built in a sovereign land? If we can get past that, then I can go to the next level. But then the next level would be, we have sightings of UFOs or whatever you want to call it by Europeans all the time.
Right.
All the time. And every time the brothers or sisters from the NOI want to establish the authenticity of the story, they will even reference the Europeans and say, see, I told you, the Europeans see it. And now even Wesley Muhammad, because the government supposedly are now acknowledging it, Wesley Muhammad now used the government as a reference. When at one time, the government was supposed to be the one that's our opposition. But now it's okay to use the opposition when it suits your needs.
I think he could be referencing them because we look to believe everything white people say. If you and I say we seen the planes, oh, you're that nigga lying. Okay, I don't believe you. But let the white man say it. Now, what he said is the truth because it's the white man that said it. So I think that could be his reasoning for referencing the white man.
I agree. I agree because we believe in the European first. However, I will say this. This is why I reference Elijah Muhammad. I want to reference Elijah Muhammad, and I want to make this make sense. I want to make this make sense. Let's make this make sense. And what I'm saying is, as it relates to what it takes to even interact internationally on a sovereign land during that time, it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
I'm speaking in reality. I'm talking about all the tractor trailers that got to pull and this steel in. I'm talking about the fuel it would take for all the tractor trailers or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need the details, none of that. But we know what it takes to build a skyscraper. Correct. All of this stuff got to come from somewhere. All the people, they got to be fed, they got to be clothed, they got to be housed, and this can go undetected in a territory the size of California.
Well, you're thinking from you're thinking from your own.
I'm supposed to.
But not everything happens on these planes. And so because man has fallen and we can only see things from our realm. But when you come from higher planes, spiritually, mentally, and physically, you're able to see how things can be done in different dimensions. We can't reference that because we are still on this plane. We're speaking even in English.
No,
Do you
but this
understand?
was built on this plane, sister. It was
Right. It was
built on
built
this plane. It
on.
was built right here. It was built by men. It
Yes.
wasn't built by spiritual people that look like ghosts. It was built by a yellow man, a brown man, and a black man led by Master Farad Muhammad. It was built by men. It was used real steel, real wires, I'm sure, and real plastic fabrics and whatever they use to make it comfortable. They was
Right.
built by real people. So there's no need to be talking about planes and all that. No. We got to deal with real people, like building a car, building a plane, building a skyscraper and everything. So that way we can keep it in context. Keep it in context. This was not no levels and realms and all of that. This was real manufacturing of something the size of a football field.
Correct. And it took time to do that. So
And undetected. Undetected.
well, Allah has the ability to make things undetected. It's called a sphere that we don't get the opportunity to see every single thing. Things happen right in front of your face and you don't see it.
Sis,
Because
you're
this
right.
this is real stuff. Okay.
I agree with you on that.
Every single thing.
I agree with you on that. But you can't build something the size of 2 stadiums in front of my face and I don't see it.
Okay,
That
but
takes,
it was built. But it was built. That's the actual fact. So how do you think it was built? It is built already.
I don't believe the story.
Okay, so what do you think is in the sky?
I think there's something in the sky that we haven't identified what it is yet. But it's something there. But I don't think what you mean? Whoever have seen something in the sky,
Okay.
whoever have seen something in the sky, they have yet to identify exactly what it is.
It's a disc.
Little do we know that the United States have advanced technology so well that it could be their own craft that look like craft. That little do we know because it's unidentified.
Okay, well, the messenger said the difference would be anything that this world makes noise. When you see or come upon any of these flying objects from the mother plane, baby planes, there's no sound. And
you know what? That's true. United States got some stuff like that too.
Everything they do, cars, air conditioned, whatever they make is going to have a hint of sound. When the baby planes come amongst you, there is no sound. You will feel vibration. You will see the lights, but it's not about sound. So there has to be a distinction so that you will know the real from the fake. Everything in life has a real.
But let me say this. You have Europeans that say the same thing and don't have no connection with the NOI. And they don't say it's the baby planes. Some of them say it's the Anunnaki. Some of them say they so sure that it's the Greys. Some of them say, and they put their life on it.
This is all conjecture.
No, but they might say yours. How can the Europeans be conjecture that have all of this footage?
He's the master of technology.
Let me say this. Let me say this. If Europeans go on, they got these pages on the internet. They show all of this footage, grainy and otherwise, and all of that is conjecture. But then we don't come with no tangible evidence, but ours is right and exact.
Right.
But we're using the same example that they're using, though.
Well, if the messenger came and left us the supreme wisdom lessons, he left us how to eat to live, all of these sources that are designed to make us into a new being right here on earth. Forget about the mother plane. He already gave us transformative information that would transform the mind.
But tonight we're talking about the mother plane, sis. We're talking about the mother plane. I don't want to get off track on how to eat to live. We're only talking about the logical, plausible existence of this being built, and this is actively moving and floating above earth to destroy the devil's existence.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I understand what you're saying. Again, we don't have the tangible evidence to verify all of those days, weeks, hours, months, years that it took to create this plane and where it actually took place and why nobody else saw it. We don't have that. So the same way we don't have the information on when the pyramids were built and how they were built. We
But
don't
the
have that.
but the pyramids is so distant, far in the past that we can't compare
It's
1929 to a
difficult to figure it
distant
out
built of
to
a
this day.
pyramid. We can't compare that though. We can't compare the distance past of the pyramids to 100 years ago. That doesn't make sense, sis.
Okay,
That's not a fair
you know,
assessment.
the fact is we don't have that information. All we have is the information he left us with. And if you get lucky, you have the ability to see the plane in the sky. You have the ability to, if you are able to, tune in. That's another.
What is so good of seeing a plane in the sky if they watching us suffer? What's the benefit? What's the benefit of seeing a mother plane and baby planes, but we continue to get killed by the police?
I agree.
What's the
I agree.
benefit?
And I agree with you on that because, as I said, as you know, I've been in the nation 31 years. We've been suffering way before my time, and
Yeah,
still to this very
I'm
day.
really asking, what's the benefit though of seeing the
Well,
plane?
the plane is supposed to be our brothers on this plane that are designed to wipe America out. And so that plane is designed just for that, to destroy America at its appointed time. We don't know that time. It's already been written in Ezekiel, in the Bible, Ezekiel's wheel. So it's not just from the supreme wisdom, it was already written in the Bible, the wheel in the sky that had many eyes around it. So this is a description that of a book that would be in the sky. Whether we
Well,
get to
but hold
experience it
up,
in our real time, yes,
hold up,
sir.
sis, hold up, sis. I gotta chop in for a minute.
Go ahead.
One of the arguments that brothers from the Nation of Islam like to use is this UFO that was seen in 1986. And this guy sketch, it didn't show no many eyes as written.
Right.
Nor does this sketch actually fit the schematics of what Elijah Muhammad says. Elijah Muhammad talks about a wheel within a wheel within a wheel.
Right.
And I might be paraphrasing a little bit off, but he does speak about a wheel within a wheel within a wheel. This is just a walnut-shaped object, but the NOI would say this is it.
No, that's not it. No.
Let me bring somebody else in real quick, sis. Let me see. I see somebody. Let me bring Lukeman in. Brother Lukeman, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the show. Are you there, brother?
Doing good. Peace and blessings, brother. Yes, sir. You can
Peace,
hear me?
brother. Yes, sir, brother. Break it down for me, Lukeman. How can we logically, rationally make sense out of this, if you will? Introduce yourself to the family and to our sister, Empress Malika.
Yes, my name is Blake Salam. I'm Lukeman Muhammad. I just wanted to ask a few questions, though, about what you were saying, because whatever your belief is, I believe it's enough information and evidence out there to prove it. As the sister said, there's little details of information that we don't have evidence of. We don't have evidence of how Master Muhammad was able to get into Japan, into the caves that they was in and build it, and the certain parts that they built it. How he was able to have so many people working on one object, but only very few of them knew what they were actually building. We don't know how to comprehend that kind of knowledge. That's far beyond our comprehension. If we was in that kind of knowledge in that realm, we wouldn't need nobody to help us get free. We would already make ourselves free. My thing is, why would Elijah Muhammad lie about that? This is something that actually scared a lot of people off. It actually ran a lot of people away from his teaching. So why would he prescribe this to his teaching, knowing that his people would have trouble believing this?
Well, I can say this. A lot of religious people make extremely unpalatable claims. A lot of religious people do that. Throughout history, religions have been able to persuade people that Moses can part a sea, can talk to a bush, that Elijah can go up in the whirlwind. All of these things are consistent with old folk tales that used to draw people in. Old time religion, Muhammad gets on the carpet and goes to Jerusalem. All of these things are consistent with old folk tales and folklore that would draw people into religion. So all those that ran away is no comparison with those that will come to and try to figure out if this is a reality or is this a hoax. So this is consistent with history of religion. Religion has always told these stories that in the Moorish Science Temple of America, they got stories that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali went into the pyramids of Egypt and got lost. And when he found his way out, they said he was a prophet. You know what I say about that? I need to see. I say y'all lying. I said, and believe me, elders in the Moorish Science Temple of America say this stuff. You know what I say? I say you're lying. I said, show me the boat manifesto. You don't get to tell me like, well, we're not really worried about that. We can't explain the boat manifesto. No, you have to leave this country and go to Egypt, and then you got to come out between the paws of the Sphinx. Show me the boat manifesto. Show me who orchestrated this journey. Show me something. You don't get to tell me that, oh, no, we just can't explain it, Grand Sheik. But, you know, things just happen for the will of Allah. I don't believe in that. They say Prophet Noble Drew Ali went to the White House and asked the Europeans for the flag of the Moors. And he said, bring back 5,000 people. Bring back man, show me the sign-in sheet. Show me something. If you can't show me that. See, one thing about me, brother, to be 1,000%, I don't need something super spectacular to be convinced that Prophet Noble Drew Ali is a prophet. I just need to know that it's logical and it's practical, and that if he did it, I can do it. That's all I need to know. You know what I'm saying? And that's the miracle of our leaders and our seers. I don't need something extravagant, but throughout the history of religion, we find that there's always these super fabulous stories that we never can comprehend or add up and make sense of them. And that's throughout history of religion. There's not one religion that doesn't exist that don't have these fabulous stories. But we can't confirm none of them.
So all in all, you just believe he was lying?
I don't believe. Yeah, I believe it was untrue. It's untrue. Absolutely.
He was lying.
Absolutely. It was untrue. Saying, right? Absolutely.
Right. Don't say untrue. Say he was lying. If he told a lie,
no, I don't. No. Listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm
saying. Brother Bay, you got on a green shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. According to you.
Yeah. That's a lie, right?
Brother, if I say untrue is a lie, brother. What you want me to say?
Yeah, I just want you to say what you would say.
Period. No, yeah.
He sounds like it's butter on it. Yeah.
No. Untrue like is a lie.
Nice. I don't want you to be nice with it.
No. I talk like I talk, brother. I'm not going to talk like you want me to talk. It was untrue.
I'm glad you said that. So you say you're not going to talk like I want you to talk. What makes you think that you would be able to comprehend a man that we say is God in person? That you would be able to, that we could even comprehend, to tell you, oh, Brother Bay, this is the evidence to show. Here's a log of the people who signed in to help make the craft. Oh, here's Japan. They have a record that over here in the cage, they was allowing somebody to do something they knew nothing about. Who said they even know? Why are you asking? These are the questions that just tear away at the sensible thinking of what did he bring? Why did he bring it? And is it true? Are these crafts real? Because for over 90 to over 100 years, people were saying up to 100 years. People were saying that he was falsifying information, that he was lying, saying that these things were real. Now the U.S. government's coming out saying they're real. People are like, oh, I believe it. But I don't believe Elijah was telling the truth.
Brother, listen to what I'm saying. Elijah Muhammad wasn't the only one saying that UFOs exist. So now, not only do you use the government to rubber stamp that story, Europeans all over the world is using the government to rubber stamp that story. What makes your story so different than the European story? Because the European story is no different than your story. And the Europeans using the government to say that, yeah, now the government telling you they're having the same conversation. See, I don't need the European to confirm something, because the European has never confirmed anything that I stand on. So at the end of the day, whether the European says it exists or not, doesn't make sense, doesn't mean nothing to me. I'm looking at logical reasoning, how to build something on the ground in a foreign country, how you're going to take all these materials and you're going to build something the size of a football field. You're going to go undetected. And then this thing is going to hover above us. It's going to have bathrooms, restrooms. It's going to have all these things. And you want me to say, well, how you going to comprehend God? He says the black man is God, didn't he? Shouldn't I be able to comprehend God if he says the black man is God? Huh?
Not in the state, brother. Not in the state you in.
Right.
He was in the state when he said it.
Yeah, but
no, he wasn't in the state you in.
What you mean he wasn't in the state I was in?
Who was in the state you was in?
Whoever said the black man is God.
When Elijah Muhammad said the black man is God, he was in the state you in right now?
Of course.
Brother, you gotta go through a mental journey on who Elijah Muhammad was, who he is, brother. You said he was in the mental state.
So you
no, brother, in a mental state means you can bear the same fruit that he bared.
No.
So
That doesn't mean
if you have the same mental, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That,
you say you share the same. That's what I'm saying. I'm the one that presented the question.
Right.
So if that's the question I presented, that's what I meant by the question. When you say that you was in his mental state, meaning you could do the same things he can do. I firmly stand against that. You are not there, brother.
Let me respond.
That's what I meant earlier.
I am in the same mental space, meaning that what I am today is no different from the mentality that he was. If let me finish. If we're saying that he's evolved if he's evolved in a state of mind spiritually. Now, you don't know my spiritual evolution for you to even say that. Now, you are what you're doing is you're trying to say what he produced is equivalent to his mental state. Well, let's lose that for the church for it.
I didn't say that. I was saying
you say I will produce what he produced. This is so let me finish. Let me finish. You say I will bear the same fruit that he bears. What you're trying to do is equate of his unfoldment as to who he became with what he produced. That's what you're saying. That's exactly what you're saying. And you saying I will produce the same. I'm telling you that the church have produced way more than Elijah Muhammad. But that don't make the church and him are unfolded at the same or unequal states. They are diametrically opposed to each other. But the church just because a person can produce things doesn't mean that they are fully evolved or that they're underdeveloped. That doesn't mean that. The devil produced major things, but we can't equate that. So don't say
church has produced what Elijah has produced.
What?
What church has produced what Elijah has produced? That's the simple question.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The Catholic Church got its footprint in every government and every economic system on the planet. What you mean?
Yeah, I think you don't know what Elijah produced for real.
What did he produce?
You're looking at it from the outside.
What did he produce? Let's talk about what he produced.
So that's what I'm.
What did he produce, brother?
We got to backtrack. That's what I'm saying. Let me get to it. I'm about to answer you. I'm just realizing that you don't know.
Okay, come on.
I'm thinking that you had some idea.
Don't be long with it. Don't be long with it. Let's talk about what he produced. Come on. What did he produce?
Yeah, brother. You gotta calm down, man. You real hype, man. You gotta kind of comprehend it.
Bro, tell me what he produced so I can respond.
Can I say?
You can't even tell me what he produced. He produced you.
I can't.
You're not telling me what he produced, brother. He produced people off of drugs. He got people off of drugs. Guess what? NA do that.
Yeah, that's what.
NA do that.
I'm not gonna lie, man. You kind of coming off like the people that be on TikTok with the attitude.
Hey, bro, listen to me. I'm asking you a very simple question. Hold up, sis. Let him answer first. Let him answer first. I want to hear what he said the messenger produced. I want to hear what he said the messenger produced. I'll respond. No, and then you can respond, and then I'll show you equivalent to what devils produce. Now let's go. Because he's trying to make the statement that if I am evolved, then I will bear the fruit that Elijah Muhammad produced. But it doesn't make one evolve just because they produce things. The devils produce mighty things. And I use the word mighty things. Now, they produce the Negro. But now you'll go, brother. What did he produce?
Yeah, I'm not in disagreement that Satan or devils can produce good things. I never said that they couldn't. My argument is your mental state is not in comparison to his mental state when he said that the black man is God.
I disagree.
That's good.
I disagree.
I'm pretty sure you disagree, brother. That's why you asked me the question.
No, I disagree.
Right?
But you don't know my mental state, though. You would
You're
have.
not gonna let me answer.
No, brother. Bro, you just said it, made a statement. How can you measure my mental state? Who are you to measure my mental state?
As I was answering, I'm just trying to answer you to the first question, which is actually going to give you the answer to that later question that you asked.
Let's go.
So, right. So I'm not talking about the mental state of what he produced. I'm talking about him producing men and producing women, taking them from the state that they were in, cleaning them up, changing the mind state. I don't even want to say the mind state. I want to say he gave a new philosophy, a new doctrine of the way you look at God. God wasn't even to be looked at as a man. God was looked at as spirit or some ghost or anything out of that. If you still believe that, that's fine. But I mean, as far as the members of the Nation of Islam, to come into that grasp of understanding, to get a group of people, black people at that, which is probably some of the hardest people to change their mind on any opinion that they had. He was able to get them to change their mind and follow him, which also held other responsibilities and duties: dress wear, eating, livelihood, the care of your spouse, the children, the way you treat your parents. Yes, this does happen in other religions. Yes, this is done by other people. But I'm talking about the velocity that Elijah Muhammad did it, and the snap of a finger, because it's not like he went to school for it. It's not like he trained or conditioned for it. So when he did what he did, in the time frame that he's done it in, it's beyond remarkable. When I say you, brother, if you were even close to that, I don't even think you would be on YouTube talking about this right now.
All right.
So that's what I mean. As far as your mental state being anywhere near what his mental state was in 1934. I'm saying you're not in that. And I hate to judge. I'm not in that.
No, it's good. Let me respond.
I don't want to make it seem like it's just you. I'm not in that mental state,
brother. Let me respond.
So, all right.
Let me respond real quick.
I wasn't done with the answer.
No. Oh, no. But I want to respond to that first part. What he produced, brother. Do you know that many brothers that join the Nation of Islam, it turns into a turnstile? Most people that join the Nation of Islam, they never stay in the Nation of Islam. Majority of them. You know why? Because when he produced, people feel like something is missing. Most brothers that I know that I grew up with that was a part of the Nation of Islam, they don't even attend. They love Elijah Muhammad and they love the Nation of Islam, but they don't even attend the construct and what's administered by the Nation of Islam to this day. That's including my sister right here. Now, she might go back, but today she's not. You know why? Because she feel like something is missing. And I don't want to speak for her, but I'm going to tell you why. Most people feel like something is missing. That's because you're talking about the fruit that someone's bears. But let me tell you something. In reality, what Elijah Muhammad did was a wonderful thing. It was a great thing. But most people, and you know it and I know it. Are you an active member in the Nation of Islam right now?
Yes, sir.
Where at? Under who? What's the student minister?
My father, Minister Rodney Muhammad, Mosque number 12.
Mosque number 12. Out of where?
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. See, we need to sit down and meet, because I will guarantee you that if you have been in there from birth, you will see the revolving door that I'm talking about. Because most people,
I wasn't in here from birth.
I say if you were, that's what I'm saying. If you was there from birth. If that's what I'm saying to you, if you was there, then you know and can bear witness what I'm talking about, because something is missing. Now,
that absolutely has nothing to do with what I just said about Elijah Muhammad.
No. Let me say my point. When you say that I am not in a mental state, First of all, you're measuring my mental state. That's what the first thing you're doing. And you're measuring Elijah Muhammad's mental state. I'm saying to you that, for one, you're not qualified to do that. Number two, you feel as though because he took people off of drugs, because he got people out the streets, that those are the fruits he bear. I'm telling you that NA does that. I'm telling you that AA does that. I'm telling you that Salvation Army does that. I'm telling that these Europeans, YMCA does that. I'm telling you that these European constructs produces similar fruit. But is their mind state the same as Elijah Muhammad? Of course not. So just because one is not producing what you consider the fruit like Elijah Muhammad, that doesn't mean fruits are not being produced. And in a more extreme rooted way, that it doesn't become a revolving door. But you don't know that. You think I'm a YouTube personality. You think I'm hooping and hollering as a tic-tac guy. You don't know what I do. Have no clue.
I never challenged anything that you're doing personally, brother. I compared you to Elijah.
Because you don't know.
Right. But I never.
So your comparison.
Just like you said, I'm not qualified to judge you. You're not qualified to judge Elijah.
The reason why I can judge, no, listen to me. The reason why I can judge is because he put the evidence in the books. I'm only judging the information he provided me with. I'm not judging the individual. I'm not judging him personally. I'm judging the information. You don't have enough information about me to make a judgment call. This is why your judgment is erroneous. Hold up. Listen what I'm telling you. I'm only judging by what he produced in his books, his information. That's what I'm judging. You're judging me when you are not qualified because you don't know anything about me.
Did Elijah Muhammad give a full
no, I'm not
teaching about the MOTHERPLANEs or anything like that?
Listen what I'm saying. I'm judging by what he gave me. I can only judge by what he gave me. You don't know anything about me to judge and make an assessment. Therefore, your assessment is errored. You have errors.
Judging off what you gave me. I'm judging off what you give me.
No. You got a snapshot of what I gave you. I got over 60 years. I got since 1930 of information that he gave us.
No, you got books. You ain't never held a conversation with him.
No. These are his words, brother.
Yeah, that's true. Words can be misinterpreted.
I cannot judge a person. I cannot judge a person.
I can text you right now and you misinterpret what they saying.
No. I don't interpret this. I read it for what it is. If he tells me that a plane was built in Japan, the size of a football field, in 1929 it took its first flight, and I'm looking at the schematics of this plane that he gave us. I'm looking at the international relationships between Japan and other countries in 1929. I'm looking at what it would take, the steel, the people, and all that. And I'm saying it's nothing there to identify that it took place.
So my point is you're comprehending it off of your mind when your mind is not on the level of that man.
No, I'm comprehending.
Whether you think I don't have the right to say that, that's my opinion.
No, listen what I'm saying,
I truly believe.
Brother, let me ask you a question. And then I want sis to talk real quick. Let me ask you a question. If someone built a cruise ship the size of 5 football fields.
Someone or God?
God or anybody. I don't care.
Okay. There's a big difference.
No.
We don't believe it was just anybody. Brother, we believe that this man has more intelligence than any human being in the universe.
Let's be clear. God did not build it. It was the yellow man, the black man, and the brown man. Instructed by Master Farad Muhammad, who you say God was in the person. Don't say God built it. No, God didn't build it. Stop it. God didn't build it. You've been in the NOI since birth. God didn't build it. It was constructed by men. And men didn't know what they was building, but the scientists
who was in charge of the building.
Hold on. I said Master Farad Muhammad. I just said that. But the scientists, the yellow man, the black man, and the brown man, they were men that built it.
Whether he got 100,000 people to help him build it. If he was in charge of it and directing everything, he built it.
Brother, when you say
he paid for the material, he paid them. He built it.
Who did he pay?
Accurately, I don't like for sure. I'm not sure
That's
exactly
my
how he did
point.
the payouts.
That's my point.
I don't know that
We
part.
believing in Santa
I
Claus
know
again,
that.
brother.
I know a lot of. No, that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing at all. This is actually factually proven. Have you ever seen Santa? Has anybody? They got
You never,
documentaries about Santa Claus?
brother, you never seen nothing in Japan to validate this story. But let's both of us stop for a second. Let's give the sister the floor because she's been itching to get busy. Go ahead, sis. The floor is yours.
Yes, sir. Well, one thing Elijah Muhammad gave us is the knowledge of God, the knowledge that we are God. There's power in that alone. Knowing that you are God and that you have power to change your condition and to do supreme things. You have major scientists and you have minor scientists. You have angels and you have archangels. Okay? We have the planet, which he told us that 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth belongs to us. So knowing this, we have the ability to not just remain in one space, but we can travel throughout the planet to gain access to knowledge. But with knowing that we are gods and studying the information that he gave us, which came from who we say God in person, Master Fard Muhammad, he came possessing supreme knowledge. How do we know? Because he gave it to Elijah Muhammad and left him in charge after he taught him for 3 years, giving us information that we had not seen, the square mileage of the planet Earth, all of these mathematics and science. We don't have that knowledge at this time to build a baby plane or a mother plane. So I understand what you're saying, beloved.
Sis, you do know supreme mathematics was readily available way before 1930, right? Like the distance of the planets and the circumference of the earth, all of that was readily available.
Yes,
That wasn't new information by W.D. Fard Muhammad. That wasn't new information.
I'm not saying it was.
You could get it in the local library at the encyclopedia or in the almanac.
But he gave it to us as medicine, as a key, one of the keys to remove the rusty locks. The rusty locks are the inabilities in our brain that keep us bondage, that keep us in the condition that we're in right now. We can go way back into the history of Yaqub and his creation of the devil. And so why he was permitted to make devil, why he in the jungles had to create this man and then was allowed to, I see you laughing, but this is a whole.
I don't believe in fairy tales.
Okay.
I don't believe in fairy tales, sister. There is no historical. Now, if you told me that was a metaphor, then I say, okay, I can work with you. But there is no historical account outside of the Nation of Islam that this ever took place.
The actual fact is that we can talk about is our condition today.
But that's not the conversation right now. That's for another show. Show.
You said, what did Elijah Muhammad give us?
No, I'm not saying he didn't give us anything. I think he did a wonderful job with resurrecting some of our people from the degradation and all of the things that we have brought upon ourselves and that the oppressor had put upon us. I think he did a wonderful job in certain regards.
We're not even resurrected yet. We're still coming. He gave us a wake-up message.
What I'm saying is those people who brothers and sisters who have cleaned themselves up by the way of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I think that's a great thing. However, I'm saying that we have other people in society, European and otherwise, that's also cleaning people up. But we're looking at the doctrine. But listen, what I'm telling you, the difference that I want to say this, sis, and Brother Lukeman, I'm looking at the doctrine. I'm not looking at how many people cleaned up. I'm looking at the philosophy and the doctrine and the scholarship and the historical accuracy. I'm not looking at how many people got to stop drinking. I'm not looking at how many people. That's a whole different conversation. I'm looking at the scholarship. I'm looking at the doctrine. I'm looking at the historical accuracy. That's all I'm looking at.
Okay. So can I ask you a question? You do know that the Nation of Islam has people who are very prolific in speaking on these crafts, correct?
Yeah, I've heard them.
Now, I'm pretty sure you got a nice platform. You had believers up on your platform before. I'm pretty sure if you reached out to one of them, or if you reached out to me or somebody else, they could reach out to them. They would easily come up here.
No,
and it don't have to be
the brother Wesley Muhammad Lukeman. I've reached out to him for a couple of conversations, and
he's not the only one, brother.
But he's
not the only one. It's other ones. It's other people who. It's a brother. We got a brother who wrote a whole book, UFOs in the Nation of Islam. We got many ministers who can speak on these things.
You know what I've noticed though, Lukeman? Everyone that speak on this, they do a lot of quoting of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, rightfully so. They do a lot of quoting of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but they don't use the scientific method. And that's it's problemsome because that's how mystery gods and mystery religion enter into our psyche, and we continue to have this false hope that doesn't even really exist. That they start. I'm telling you, that's what I've read. I read these books all the time. I read these books all the time.
What's the scientific method that you're referring to, though?
Okay, the scientific method is, first of all, we start from the beginning, how it was built, the practicality of what it would take to build this. I said this at the beginning of the show, how it would build, right, so how much steel it would take. Hold up. Mathematically speaking, how much steel it would take, how much manpower it would take, the inner workings. Like we can measure that. It's not like we can't measure that.
I agree.
That's the scientific method.
Right, I got you. Do you have any scientific method that disproves the beginning?
No, listen what I'm telling you. That will disprove it. That will give you a ponderance of the evidence. Hold up. It will produce a ponderance of the evidence to say more likely than not.
So because of your head, you look at
no.
Sovereign nation.
Listen, if we're around if we have a circle full of intelligent people and we look at it from a scientific method, right? And we present the evidence of science, right? And I put all of this to the table, and all you can say is, well, you just can't say if God can and can't do.
No, it's
we're not dealing with what God can and can't do. We're using the scientific method.
Brother, all you presented was that you're saying that there's no document, nobody's seen it.
I'm not presenting
that.
No, I'm not presenting
that. That's what I'm saying. That's all you said.
No. What you're
asking me to show that.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm saying the likelihood, brother. I'm saying the likelihood that if we can't find that, the likelihood of the story being true is not likely.
What's the likelihood? What's the likelihood to anything? Like when we start to really get into the likelihood, when you say the likelihood of what?
The likelihood.
That they could have built that? So you're saying that they couldn't have built that?
No. Let me give you an example. The likelihood.
Okay.
When you look at the Freedom Towers being built, 100 years from now, they hypothetically speaking, someone saying, man, they built the Freedom Towers. It took, and this is just a hypothetical, it took 18 months. Now the Freedom Towers look beautiful. And someone 100 years from now and say, man, that don't make sense. It wouldn't take 18 months to build that because we build towers like that in 6 months. And so now they say they're not considering that it's two different time periods. You know what I mean? So they say, okay, let's do the scientific method. Now, when you do the scientific method, you say, let's go into the time period. How long it took to construct something like this? How much steel does it take? How much manpower it make? And then you can come up with a likelihood of who's making sense and who's not. This is what we're talking about, likelihood. We're not just throwing stuff at the wall. We're looking at what it takes in the time.
Brother Bay, I swear, I got what you were saying the first time you said your point. I got all of what you just said. You didn't present anything like new for me. So all I'm asking is because our answers was I think they were very simple. It didn't sound like it was much, but it's so powerful if you process it in the right way. That's what I'm saying. Take your time with listening to me. Take your time with listening to me.
Everything that you're saying
right now, even before I got on here, the sister would say about 10 words and you would jump in.
Because you know why, brother?
I know everything that you're saying, brother, and I feel you, but you gotta listen for a second. You gotta listen for a second so that somebody can fully express their thought. Or else the thought it's gonna be incomplete. And then you're gonna be rolling around with an incomplete thought, thinking, oh, that's what he was saying. No. You gotta let the person express their thought.
I want you to express your thought, brother, and I'll let the sister express her thought. What I'm saying is, when I hear the same thing that I read in here without an independent thought, I'm like, hold up. Are we just going to regurgitate and parakeet everything that we read? Or are we going to logically come to some logical explanation built upon what we read? I'm hearing parakeeting. I'm not hearing rational, logical explanation by what you learned. I'm hearing quotations. So that's why I jump in. From you, from sis, and even a brother that was here earlier. I'm hearing a bunch of quotations.
What did I say that was parakeeting? That Elijah Muhammad said.
Brother, I can't rewind back everything you said, but some of what you said, it comes directly out of here.
I didn't say nothing out of the book.
Brother, you didn't
but
say
that he was God. That's it. I didn't say nothing out of the book. If I'm wrong, please just
okay, I could be wrong. I'm gonna rewind and go back, but that's why I'll be cutting in. But I know sister talk, but it's a floating planet or something to the effect. I'm like, hold up.
That's what he said.
Yeah, so my point is, so my point is, brother, whether you said something directly out of here, whether it was the sister or the other brother, much of what I hear, I don't hear any logical responses when it comes to. Your response is, I tell you one of your response. Your response is, brother, you can't say what God can do and can't do. And you didn't say it like that. I'm paraphrasing. Mm-hmm. The only thing I'm saying is that I'm not looking at what God can and can't do. I'm looking at the practicality of this information during the time that it said that it happened. It's impractical. And when I say that to you, you don't give me a logical response.
Let's say we agree. Let's say we agree.
I'm gonna finish. You don't give me. Let me say this. You don't give me a logical response. You give me a Christian response. You says, well, you can't say what God can do.
So let's say it's impractical. I'm gonna ask you something. Is it impossible?
You know, ain't nothing impossible. You know that.
I don't know.
No,
don't know.
I mean, the
practical mind. Listen, the practical mind tells you that some things are impossible.
No. Listen.
Doesn't it?
Listen.
Doesn't a practical mind tell you that some things are impossible?
No.
Brother, if I told you to jump out of a plane that's 35,000 feet in the sky and just land on the ground, you say, brother, and I say, brother, you're going to live. We got the study. We got the science to show you. You're like, brother, I need to see something more. You do it first or something, because in my practical mind, I'm going to lose my life when I jump out this plane.
Right.
That's a practical mind, brother. So a practical mind teaches you something that something is impossible. So I'm asking you. We both agree that this is an impractical situation. I'm going to ask you, is it impossible?
Let me explain to you your analysis, right? First of all, I don't believe that anything is impossible. But I do believe in practicality. Now, if a person jumps out of a plane and 99 out of 90% out of times they splatter on the ground, I'm going to take that scientific method and run with it. Now, until science catches up to how you can defy gravity, I'm going to go with that science. And it's the same thing that I'm applying to analysis of this spaceship mother plane being built in a foreign country with foreigners and floating above America. I'm using the analysis. I'm using analysis by comparison by what we have available, the data we have available. I'm not using mystery stuff. I'm not using spook stuff. So for your example about the plane, I have evidence that you're going to splatter. For building a spaceship the size of a baseball field, two soccer fields and a football field, the evidence does not exist. And we say show and prove. So I'm saying show and prove. Don't tell me to believe because God said. Show and prove.
I never said that. Why do you keep saying that?
No.
That's literally like the fifth or sixth time you said that. And I've let it go, but you keep saying it as if
you implied that, brother. You said I don't have God's mind. Bro, you implied.
Yeah, I said you don't have God's mind. That was to comprehend what he actually did and how he did it. That was not to say you got to believe because God did it. I never said that. That's what I mean about misinterpreting, because you're not letting people finish their thought. And since you're not letting people finish their thought, you making up own ideas that they words rolling off their lips. You rushing to say something instead of listening.
Brother, that sounds good, brother. So what do we conclude of
so can I
how
ask you,
this was
I'm going
built?
to I want to stay in the practical realm because we two practical human beings. We gonna do things practical. We don't have that ability to do things on an impossible level. We still practical. So if you study the UFOs, I don't know how much you study it, but they actually say that as it moves, you know about sound. There's supposed to be like a sonic boom after a certain amount of speed. You are knowledgeable of that, correct?
That's what they say.
That's what the science says. After a certain amount of speed, there has to be a sonic boom. You do know of that, correct?
That's what they say.
That's okay. So now we're going.
That's what you're saying. That's what they say.
That's what the science. That's what the science.
That's
says.
fine, bro. That's fine. Come on
but
with
they
it.
have not. But they have recorded these things going past the sonic boom barrier of speed limit, and they're saying that this thing is not making no sonic boom.
But bring the proof. Who is
people that's just recording it? The people that's recording the UFOs, the U.S. government.
Listen what I'm saying.
You go to every government. You can go to the Brazilian government. You can go to Argentina government. You can go to the Israeli government, the Russian government, the China government.
Brother, I'm not doubting you. But when you present an argument and you equating that to the mother plane and the baby planes, brother, using terms like they said and things that like that, but it doesn't really mesh. You know what I'm saying? You're saying they said. What was the context and what they said it? I mean, you're giving it no context. You want me to just paint it all with a wide brush and just accept it? There is no context.
I think you're missing the point. I'm just talking about the science. The science is evident. What we can look up.
Okay. Let's go with what you said.
I'm just going off of the science. Yeah,
let's go with what you said. There's a sonic boom.
I honestly can't tell you. I honestly can't tell you who made up the formula.
No, hold up. I'm gonna go with what you said.
But we know that the water is H2O, right?
So no. Hold up, brother. We can move past that. Let's go with what you said. That there's a sonic boom, and you seen the baby plane, and there was no sonic boom. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I'm saying because of the science said that at that speed,
let's get to the point.
To be a sonic.
Okay, let's get to the point. You seen the baby planes and you seen the mother plane.
This low key depressing for me, brother, because I really liked you for a long time, and I want to still like you, but I'm not liking how you just keep cutting me off, and you too old for that, brother.
Talk, brother. You gonna make a sonic boom,
you destroy a whole good conversation, like you. So I'm not even trying to go into long-winded things of saying anything. I'm trying to really stay short and ask questions so we can dialogue about it. If the sister wants to jump in, she can jump in at any time. I'm mainly going off of like we stand in the practical realm. We understand things a little practical. So if a speed limit, according to the sciences that's out in the world that we know of, now of course there's other higher levels of the science. So I'm not saying this is end all be all fact. I'm just saying, according to what we know about the science, something travels at a certain speed, especially at that size, it's going to cause a sonic boom. They have never recorded a sonic boom from any of these crafts. Now that's, according to their science, is impossible. But our practical minds can't even comprehend how to break that down. Well, how do we tell somebody if you was to ask me, why aren't they making sonic booms? Then am I supposed to give you an answer? Are you really expecting an answer from me if that was the question that you desired?
Brother, I really wasn't asking about a sonic boom. I don't think that's evidence that it's the mother plane that Elijah Muhammad is talking about. I'm not concerned about solid booms and quiet passings. That's not the issue, because Europeans claim the same thing, that they didn't make a sound. The Europeans claim the same thing. And so these Europeans are talking about the mothership. The Europeans said they've been taken up to these type of vehicles that didn't have any sound and all of that. They said they were sitting up in the cockpit with them. So, you know what I mean?
Some of them had.
So the point that I'm making is that's not a strong argument when we're talking about practicality of this even existing from the onslaught of being built. That's just an argument that Europeans put forth, that you have put forth, and that anybody else who believe in extraterrestrials and UFOs have put forth. That's not a new argument, brother. And I'm just saying that does not prove anything. That's not a new argument. Europeans use the same argument. What I'm saying is the practicality that these yellow man, the red man, and the brown man built this in Japan, and that is floating above America and is going to destroy the white man's world at any given moment when we look up. The leaflets is going to come down.
When the Europeans started their arguments about these crafts, when did they do that?
Around the same time that Elijah Muhammad started talking about them. Around the 1940s, it got really popular.
1940s? Do you know when they started?
Yeah, it got real popular around 1940. In the early 1900s, they started talking about it. But 1940s, with the onslaught of TV and radio begin to get popular, then it really got popular. Yeah.
Certain sightings, Battle of Los Angeles, certain sightings.
I just said that, bro. Around the 1940s, it got super popular.
Was that before Elijah Muhammad started talking about it?
Huh?
Was that before Elijah Muhammad started talking about it?
No, around the same time that it got popular.
Well, who started talking about it first?
Europeans been talking about it, brother. Come on, don't do that. Don't do that, brother. Europeans been talking about UFOs, brother. Stop, brother. You don't want that argument.
You're going off all factual data, brother. All you gotta do is present it to me. All you gotta do is show me. White people been talking about it since 1938. Give me that. Give me a year.
I got you. Let the sister talk real quick. Go ahead, sis. Me and Luke, we got you.
Europeans talk about, they got it from us. They're not original. Their thoughts are not original.
So why are we sourcing them then?
Who's sourcing them? Not me.
The sister explained to you why we sourcing them. They're resource for the ignorant of our masses of our people.
Right. I'm not sourcing them. So if we know that this man he came after us, all he does is steal everything someone else has and insert himself in it. Now they want to be Palladians and they want to be extraterrestrial. You're not. You're genetically modified, like the food that they try to give us. That's what you are. You're not original. These people on the planets, on the planes are original beings. They have supreme thinking. They have mastered their emotions. We haven't mastered that here.
Sis, you never met these people on the plane, sis.
Excuse me?
You never met these people on the plane. You're only quoting what you were told.
How are you telling me what I met?
Well, tell me who you met then. You met him on the plane?
That is not to be discussed. What I'm saying is, listen to me, please. When Elijah Muhammad came to remove the rusty locks, he gave us knowledge of self. Everything he gave us was to remove the white man in us, to remove the devil from us. Excuse me. You cannot get back into your original self with someone else's thinking in you. Many of us still think from the white man's thinking. You're still referencing him. He has nothing to do with this discussion here.
I'm not referencing him. I don't reference him one time.
Relevant. I don't even want to hear him discuss.
I don't reference him one time. Okay, I only reference this in the practicality of it.
Very good. Stand on that because
I never reference him one time. Everybody from the Nation of Islam that come and make this argument, they reference foreigners and Europeans and all that. I'm only thinking from my own mind what this says. I never reference the European. Never.
The 24.
I mean, in this argument.
The major and the minor. Okay, we're not dealing with the white man. They came after us. So anything they got it from us. Anything they mention, they're stealing that information from us. They do not originate and create anything.
So why y'all use the Bible? Because the Bible remixed by the European.
Well, the Bible in its original form, this is a copy version of the Bible that's being remade over and over.
So how can you trust it?
I don't read it.
But you talk about it, but you just referenced Ezekiel.
Well, because that's your audience. You have a vast audience. You have
Elijah Muhammad referenced Ezekiel. That's why you reference Ezekiel.
Because he's speaking to a broad people that can say this was written in that Bible, so you know it was written there. And the wheels in the sky are talking about the many baby planes that are there in the baby plane. In the mother plane. Eyes all around it, meaning there are people in it. It's not eyeballs all on the plane. That's comical. But it references many people in the plane. Okay? This is not a joke. It really isn't. It's very
Hey,
serious.
sis, you know why I'm
Yeah.
laughing? Because
Right.
every brother or sister in the nation have their own interpretation. That was the first time I heard that. The eyes on the plane, some brothers say it's lit up. And you
No,
say
it
it's
up.
people.
It
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying about the doctrine. This is what I'm saying about the doctrine. No matter where you talk to somebody about this, everybody have their different interpretation of what it is. The brother told me, like I said, the brother on Facebook, Sabir Muhammad, he says, this is it right here. You say, no, this ain't it.
That's not it.
So I'm
Well,
saying,
at least
though,
it's
I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I know if you've been around as long as I've been around, Luke been around as long as I've been around, then you know good and well, it seems like everybody got a different revelation and interpretation of
And it's
one specific story that's given by one man.
okay, but listen, the most important thing is your question you said earlier, and somebody wrote in your chat, is the mother plane going to help us? So
Yeah.
that's why I said it's not even important to focus on it, because it's going to do what it do. When
No,
it's time
Elijah Muhammad says it's going to help us.
right, but while we're here on this plane, we have to help ourselves. Okay,
They here with us, honey.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry, say, honey. I'm just saying they here with us.
They're here with us.
They here with us. I'm sorry for saying, honey, but I just got excited. I think my wife called me because she had
Well,
to.
they're
I
40
go pick my
miles
wife up.
from the Earth's atmosphere. We are here together, and so the mother plane has
No,
it has to be supreme thinking. That's the mother plane. Okay, the baby planes are us. Once we access knowledge of self, we have to become those baby bombing planes, accessing knowledge to destroy falsehood. Truth knocks out the brains of falsehood. Okay, we hurl truth at that. This is why you have to arm yourself with knowledge. We cannot walk around here being clowns and foolery, because there's no power in that. So when we access knowledge of self, now we take on the mind of a God having force and power. Outside of that, we are weak, and we will continue to be victims over and over, repeating the same cycle year after year. So we can talk about the mother plane until the sun comes up, but what is it going to do for us? Whether how it was built on the island or who built it, what steel they used, it's irrelevant, because we were not there, and that was, like you said, over 100 years ago. We're right now trying to access and remove these rusty locks that has us thinking in a capacity that does not allow us to do for self. We don't have any land. We don't own any buildings or properties, stores. We don't have any square footage of the planet Earth that we can call our own. So who cares?
I get what you're saying, sis. This is a deep conversation. I gotta get ready to go. I told you, I think my wife didn't tell her telepathy hit me in my mind, because I'm talking about how yeah, because I gotta go get my wife. It's going on 1 o'clock. And
Yes.
Let me get my brother Luke in. Brother Luke, I don't mean to cut you off, brother. I just get excited, brother.
Thank you,
You know what I
beloved.
mean? And I apologize.
I watch you a lot, so I already know how you move. I already know. But I was just saying, you gotta let us finish your thought, because then you're saying what we're saying, and that's not what we're saying.
But only
that's where I'm just like, it reminds me of TikTok. I'm on there, they let you say a few words, and they come in and be like, oh man, he's saying some crazy stuff. I'm like, man, you believe Jesus is white? You think I'm crazy? So yeah, this is, my mind is like, you're saying that you believe Elijah on other things, or you know him to be great for other things, but you're not believing him on this, and your reasoning.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. My reasoning is what?
It's just short to me. It's not enough. It's given. I'm just trying to have an argument.
No. I can compartmentalize, brother. I can compartmentalize. I can compartmentalize social advancement from a doctrine. I can compartmentalize. You got a doctrine that teaches that the black man is God, that the white man is the devil, that we were sent into the jungles of Africa. We got some nappy heads so we could survive. That the mother plane was built, and that the mother plane is hovering over America. That's not all the doctrine, but that's pretty much some of the doctrine. Now, I can look at that doctrine from a historical point of view, and I can examine it. And there's nowhere in history that confirms any of these undertakings. That's the doctrine. Then I can look, hold up. Then I can look at compartmentalize. I can look at the rehabilitation of the social construct in the mind of a people who is living a self-destructive life. I can separate that. I can compartmentalize that. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not looking at all of it as the same thing. I'm compartmentalizing, and I'm looking at something from a scientific point of view that can be where a scientific point of view can be used.
I think you're thinking I'm saying you're wrong for doing it. You're not. I'm saying the approach afterwards, because even after I asked you, when I said, okay, we both two practical thinkers, I said, but I asked you, is it impossible? You still haven't given me a straight answer on that. You just was like, you're kind of like,
no, it's not practical. It's not practical. It's not.
No, it's not practical, but it's not impossible.
No. I don't believe that it's done, but I don't believe anything is impossible. I just told you that, but I don't believe it happened.
No, I'm not asking.
Two things can be right, brother.
I'm talking about this. Right.
I don't believe it happened.
You don't believe it happened. So
no.
it didn't happen. Okay. In your head, it didn't happen. Okay. No. I'm not asking that no more. I'm asking, do you believe that this is possible to do?
Not in 1929 in America, nah. In Japan,
okay.
Nah.
Okay. Now, I don't know when the next time you're going live or anything like that, but I would love to invite a brother up here that I think will give you every answer you're looking for about this topic.
Bring him on, and let's bring.
You willing to do that?
Let's bring a timekeeper up here so I can refute everything he said.
Okay, if that's how you want to do it, it's your show. It's your platform. I'm pretty sure he'll yield to whatever rules you got.
Okay, no, you can be the timekeeper. Somebody say there is historical evidence for the doctrine. There we go, and I challenge that. Because you know what happens with people like Richard James? He'll say there's historical evidence of the doctrine, but then he'll start taking evidence that he interpret and try to make it fit into what he's saying. That's what he'll do. And
that's why I didn't want to use like my point of view on it, because my point of view is my perspective of certain scriptures, and I don't have like documents from Japan or anything like that. I don't know of any. I'm not saying they don't exist. I don't know of any documents that say, hey, it was here, or I don't know if there's any documentation. Most people don't even know where the planes was built. So that's why it's like when you say that the planes were built and that's falsehood and stuff like that, I'm like, man, I never heard this argument. Let me hear them out.
Hold on. Somebody say, I gotta get my wife, but I'm gonna venture out, and I don't need your $20, brother. But he said, bring me up for 10 minutes. Let him come up for 10 minutes. And soon as he start quoting without the scientific method, I'm gonna just let you. I'm gonna time you. Let me time you 10 minutes. And let me see you. Let's see what he gonna do. Richard James, come on, brother. I just put the link out. Let's see what he gonna do. I gotta pick my wife up. She probably watching like, where you at? All right, I'm gonna get in trouble, but that's all right. I'm gonna get in trouble. She know how I do. I get excited about these topics. You know what I'm saying? But listen, man. I really appreciate y'all coming on. Please don't let me offend you, because I have no malice in my heart. I just love information. I love practical information, and I just get excited sometimes. I'm working on it.
That's okay. It's all good.
That's good, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
This ain't the old NOI where though you gotta catch me in the back alley and drag me. Yeah, we
evolving, brother.
So, Brother Stanley, you got an echo.
Okay. Hold on.
Open your mic up. Open your camera up.
All right. Hold up. Oh, shit.
Sound like you on the mother plane. Sound like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, man. Hold up. I'm trying to find out how the fuck you open the camera up, man.
Well, watch your mouth. See what I'm saying?
All right. Hold on, no, I'm trying to hold on.
Hold on. So you hold on for a second. Richard James got to go first.
Can
Richard James, are you there, brother?
Yeah, can I be heard?
Yeah. Stanley, you're next, because Richard James, he was the first.
Let me mute that so we won't have any feedback. Hold on one second.
I got you,
is
brother.
There any feedback?
Yeah, brother. You gonna open your camera up? What's going on? Talk to me.
I'm nappy head in bed. I can't open up my camera now.
Oh, all right. Come on, talk to me then. Oh, you good?
Okay.
You in the jungle. You in the jungle.
Okay.
Go ahead, brother.
So when you study Yoruba oral tradition, right? It talks about the people that came from Persia and Arabia, right?
Give
Particularly
me context of what you're talking to, brother, so I can just fall back and hear you. The context. What are you speaking to? The mother plains, or you speaking to? What are you context?
First, I'm gonna speak about the nappy hair.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
Okay, all right. So when you study Yoruba oral tradition, it talks about a man that came from Arabia. His name was Oduduwa, right? And Oduduwa came from Arabia, and he intermixed with the native population of Nigeria and Cameroon. Okay, and the genetic marker, the R1B1A genetic marker, is prevalent. And that marker originates from Iraq and northern Arabia, but that genetic marker is prevalent amongst the Yoruba and the Hausa tribes. A genetic marker that originates from Arabia. Okay, that's my first point. So that's the genetic evidence for tribes coming from Arabia into the jungles of quote unquote West Africa. That's my first point.
Can I speak to that before you get the second point is going to be the mother plane, right?
Correct.
You did exactly what I said you was going to do. You did exactly what I said you was going to do. I said you're going to take a story and you're going to superimpose it and make it fit into your story. I said you would do that. But let me tell you something about that, Richard James. Let me tell you something about that methodology.
Yes, sir.
Not only is that story prevalent in the story of Nigeria, but there's other parts of Africa, especially in East Africa. In East Africa, that speaks of people coming from the Levant into Africa. In fact, Muhammad came from Levant. From Arabia into Africa. People came from Levant. Abraham, according to the Bible, came from the Levant and into Africa. So the point I'm making, brother, you can use a bunch of references to try to validate that story, but the story as written in specifics of Yaqub and in fact, the chronology of that story, you cannot find it nowhere in history, brother.
Well, no, not.
But you can take any story and cookie cut it to suit your need, and that's the problem. We need to get to the point. My argument is, brother, once again, we need to get to the point where we're able to confirm conclusively. Because if our forefathers are the originators and the founders of civilization, then somewhere there should be some form of documentation on a brick wall, on a tablet, on a slab, somewhere. But we never do that. All we do is take other stories and superpose it on what we want people to believe. Brother, that's not the scientific method.
I'll say this.
Hey, Brother Morris. It's
one second. Richard James, stand by. Let me see what Brother Stanley want to say. Brother Stanley, you got an echo, brother.
All right, my fault. All right, hold on. Let me get out and come back in there.
All right, let's get my brother James back in to talk about the mother planes. Let's go, brother.
Okay. Whereas I do agree that it's not a direct oration of how the nation has conveyed that particular story, but it does give evidence and credence to various migrations into West Africa. That was my only point.
You hear what you say? Various migrations. So you can take your pick and superimpose into the NOI story. That's not how history works and historical accuracy work, brother. You don't get to just pick any story and superimpose into your story. That's not how historical accuracy work, brother. Don't work like that.
I agree 100%.
But I want to hear about this mother plane because it sounds like you was itching to really make sure this mother plane land tonight. So talk to me.
Okay. Within Persian and Hindu tradition, you can read the text of Rama Shakara, and they talk about crystal spaceships coming from the Capricorn star system, and they talk about 2.5 billion planets in which human life lives on, and their ancestors in particular rode in these crystal ships called Vimanas. That's very common in Persian and Hindu.
How long ago was this, brother?
written records.
How long ago was this?
ago?
The story that you're narrating.
1500 BCE.
1500 BC. We're talking 1929. Help me out with that, brother. Come with me. Help me out with that. Help me out with 1929 Japan building a ship on a land in a sovereign country. Help me out with that, my brother.
Okay. Well, let me go into that. As you know, when you look at the unclassified files of Nazi Germany, the company by the name of BMW helped the Nazis create a spacecraft, okay, using liquid mercury, and it was in the shape of a bell. That's declassified files from Nazi Germany. So Japan was an ally of Nazi Germany in 1935, 1930, 1920. So it wouldn't be surprising to find out that the Japanese also had similar technology, right? And when you look in the background of the NOI's doctrine, Hitler and the Nazis had aligned themselves with the Ottomans, okay, during World War I and World War II. Germany was aligned with the Ottoman Empire. And during World War II, Germany was aligned with Japan. So it's not surprising to hear stories of flying crafts, because that was written in the declassified files of the Nazis, and how BMW helped engineer those flying crafts. So BMW, Adidas, Boss, Puma, all of these companies were started by Nazis, and they're still prevalent today. So it's not strange.
You did the same thing that I said you would do. You took another story and you cookie cut it to fit your narrative.
Okay, Taharka.
The only thing I'm saying, brother, is this. This is what I'm saying, brother. The only thing I'm saying is this, is that an operation that size cannot go undetected, especially in the island, on an island that has many small islands the size of California, especially when you understand the politics of Japan at that time. And especially if you understand the military politics of Japan at that time. There's no way an operation like that would go undetected. It's too major of an operation, brother. But go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. So are you saying that Japan was not aligned with Nazi Germany?
No. They aligned themselves with Nazi Germany at a period of time in history. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying to you is that in 1929, when this thing supposed to have taken flight, and some say they started building in 1914. Have you heard that story before? In 1914. Okay. So that I don't know if that's projection or whatever. However long it took to take, there is not a shred of evidence, and this is not ancient history. 29 is right around the corner.
Taharka, have you ever heard that story about the engineers of BMW helping formulate a flying craft for the Nazis? Have you ever heard that?
I've heard it, but let me say this. I've heard it. However, when you look at that story, it doesn't even meet an iota of the standard of what we're talking about in 1929, brother. It doesn't even meet. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't. I mean, not even one iota of the technology that is said that this craft harnessed. 9,000 miles an hour. Big is a half mile this way and a half mile that way. 15. It can hold 1,500 small crafts, and still go 9,000 miles an hour, and like the steel that it would take, brother, come on, like you got to give me a little bit more. You got to give me a little bit more than he just said so.
Are you familiar with von Braun, the Nazi scientist that came to America with Operation Paperclip?
Is that the one that was trying to escape? I think that's the guy that was escaping.
Well, he was working on formulating rockets for Nazi Germany.
Right. I'm not too familiar with, but
he moved to Huntsville, Alabama, and he helped develop NASA.
Come on.
Okay, there was a disclosure project in 2000 in which a particular English teacher that served as his secretary, she explained how he helped develop crafts in Nazi Germany. So I mean the stories and the evidence
But listen to what I'm saying,
is there.
brother. Even when you look at those stories, they are now nowhere near the magnitude of what is explained in the message to the black man or the fall of America. Nowhere near, brother.
Let me.
Nowhere near in
Whereas
comparison.
I agree with you, Taharka, in a degree, to a large degree. However, you know what else is. I'll say this, and this will only probably take me 15 seconds. I know I've taken up a lot of your time.
No,
I
you good,
appreciate
brother.
you letting me
I
come up here and
appreciate. I
speak.
appreciate. I appreciate. You got a different energy. Luke,
And
when came to battle for real,
do you
and
appreciate
did
the
get mad when
donations?
I cut him off.
I left you
That's my brother,
$30. You
though. I
appreciate
like
the
him.
donations?
Yeah, thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much. I think I seen that coming out. I was all excited. Yeah, thank you for the super chat, brother.
Oh, you're welcome, sir. You're welcome. But
Yeah, I want you to finish though, brother. I
but
really like how you are laying this out.
but there's a book called Nabatean Agriculture, right? It was originally in Syriac, and it was translated into Arabic in the 9th century in Baghdad, right? But this book called Nabatean Agriculture also talks about cloning and scientists that predated Adam. And the word that they use for scientists is ulema, okay? And the first thing that this particular scientist cloned, this particular scientist named Ankabuta, the first thing he cloned was a sheep.
Mm-hmm.
And this happened before the days of Adam. So, is what I'm saying is that Master Fard Muhammad, as well as his student, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, was tied into ancient literature and ancient wisdom coming from Arabia that has still not met the eyes of most English speaking people. Right now, that book called Nabatean Agriculture is $200, and only 60% of it is translated into English. I have a $3,000 copy from a museum. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You understand that? And when you read this book, it talks about the expiration date of Christianity. Things that are common within the doctrine of the Nation of Islam is within this book. You understand? So when
Got
you say, "Oh, it's not in comparison to what the Nation of Islam was talking about," you don't understand the Nation of Islam and that lineage coming from Fard Muhammad and his connections with the Sufis of Arabia far
Bro, but
exceeds
this is the
your.
first time that I
Hold on.
heard this. Now he's
Of,
with the
of,
Sufi brothers.
of
I gotta
course,
stop
of course, of course.
now, brother. This is what I'm saying. This is exactly what I just said 20 minutes ago. Every brother or sister from the nation has a whole new revelation, brother.
Hey,
It's
hey,
just too
Tarkin,
much, man.
Tarkin. I'm not even a part of the nation, but I can appreciate the advanced wisdom of that lineage of Fard Muhammad down to Elijah, down into Farrakhan, and down into the ministers. I can bear witness to that wisdom.
But let me say this. Let me say this. I would love to have a bullet point debate with you about some of the things you talk about, and I would emphatically show that what you're doing is you're cookie cutting something to fit a narrative. And that's something that, not you, my brother, not you, but that's something that I've learned when I sit amongst the fake conscious community. Not you. I watched them for years, and they're not as articulate as you, and they're not as straightforward and I think precise as you bring your information, because they're a little bit tacky, a little bit ghetto. However, what I've witnessed them do over the years, that they would take anything to fit their narrative and try to intellectualize it and sell it to people, and it sounds real good. What I'm saying to you, I would guarantee you that if we had a bullet point conversation, that I can show you the opposing thought, and it would make way more sense than what you're trying to cookie cut into the Nation of Islam. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. And I'm gonna tell you this. Of course, our people have for time unknown in time, we have manipulated all sorts of sciences, plants, animals, et cetera, et cetera. It's not strange that you get a house cat this size and a feline big like that. You know what I mean? It's not strange that these things happen. They just don't happen. There's processes that take place, I'm sure. Are we familiar with all these processes? Of course we're not. You know what I mean? We're farther removed. We have taken the European timeline and think we only been here for the last 10,000 to 20,000 to 50,000, 60,000 years. Or if we go back 350,000 years, we think we Neanderthals or we take we take what the Europeans say and we run with it. So at the end, or we associate it with the Neanderthal, or we what they always say, E1, B1, Homo sapien, and we take these European frameworks and we run with it. I'm of the thought that we've always been here. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm of the thought that we always been here. Kingdoms rise and kingdom fall. We have reached this state before and we got further to go. And we will return back into what they will call a primitive state, and it will all happen again. Now, that's my thought. Now, through these processes, all of these things have taken place. Do you see what I'm saying before? But what happens with religion, as people love to perpetuate ideals of religion, they take something that is familiar to their fantasy story and they fit it in there as best they can and say, aha, here you go. I don't believe in these type of fantasies because I believe in practical application towards freedom. And I believe all of these things, you don't have to convince me that somebody spliced genes and they're scientists. You don't have to convince me that something is floating above me. What you have to do is show me how that helps me. You know what I'm saying? I understand that, okay, you want to try to explain the European evil ways, but then you say you can become a Muslim and you can be a part of the Nation of Islam. Like, I'm confused now. So my whole point that I'm saying, Brother James, is that this happens all the time, where people take any information that can fit into the psychology in which they've been taught, and they make it fit, and then they dispense it. I'm telling you that I can give you an opposing thought and tear the argument up.
Taharka, I have a library of Arabic literature.
That's fine.
And most of it was translated into English. However,
that's fine. Give me what you got.
I'm coming from a whole different school of thought in terms of the evidence base that I have. Right.
But I want to stick to the Elijah Muhammad though, because that's what we're talking about. So I'm saying let's do it. Bring what you want.
Was Fard? Did he have Arabian ancestry? Yes or no?
I disagree with that. No.
Okay. Have you ever found certain precepts within the NOI within particular Sufi orders? Yes or no?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. So the word right knowledge, have you ever seen that used in Sufi orders, tariqat?
Now, I'm not that familiar with Sufi orders. I've brushed over it, but I'm not knee deep into understand each terminology that comes with it.
Okay, the word that the particular Sufi orders use is Sahih Kabir, and it translates as right knowledge. Mm-hmm. So when you see the term right knowledge being used by the NOI, right, what you're seeing is the adaptation of an Arabic word being brought into English.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And there's countless of examples.
Okay. Right, let me explain this to you.
That informs me that the Nation of Islam's doctrine, 80% of it can be found in Shia Islam, right, within the Shia tariqat, the Shia Sufi orders.
Okay.
Right. And if at this big grown age that you at, you don't understand that, then you reading the wrong books, brother.
All right, let me explain this to you. During the time in 1930s in Detroit, the Ahmadiyya movement was there, and a lot of people that was a part of the Ahmadiyya movement, they also dipped and dabbed in Sufism. In fact, much of the Ahmadiyya movement is somewhat could be argued that is a blend of Sufism. So
It
when you
is.
say
So why would you
so
why
hold
would
up,
you
let me
disagree?
finish.
Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
trying to relate Elijah Muhammad or Master Farad Muhammad with Arabia when they sitting right there in the school of thought that's associated or related to Sufism with the Ahmadiyya movement in Chicago. Yeah, it was one in Chicago too, right up State Street, and in Detroit. Brother, it's not far-fetched to believe that they would have some of the Sufi terms by the way of the Ahmadiyya movement. You don't have to go to Saudi Arabia to get Sufi terms when you're sitting there. When you're sitting there, hold up, when you're sitting there with the Ahmadiyya movement, brother.
That's not my argument.
No, your argument is he of Arabian descent? I say no, I don't believe that. You say, well, do you know that he used Sufi terminology? And then I said, okay, no, I'm not too familiar with that, but I am familiar with the idea that they had been practicing some of the Ahmadiyya concepts that is associated with Sufism, and that neither one of them would have to go to Saudi Arabia or be descended from Saudi Arabia to have these terminologies within the doctrine.
I agree, but within Sufism, there's something called a Sisla, right? And all Sufis trace their Sisla back to the Prophet Muhammad, right? So the Master Farad is a part of that Sisla that comes from the sacred orders of Arabia down into Ahmadiyya, down into the Ikhwan al-Safa, down into
brother, this is what you're saying. When you say something like that he's a part of an order, right? When you say he's a part of an order, are you able to bring the tangible evidence that he is a part of an order? Or are you saying because what he laid out now listen, you have to be careful with this too. What he laid out shows the connection to the order, because in reality, you don't have much tangible information that Master Farad Muhammad taught. You have Elijah Muhammad saying that he taught.
Do you agree with deductive reasoning?
Did you hear what I just said? You don't have anything concrete, not much, that Master Farad Muhammad taught. What you have is Elijah Muhammad saying he taught.
Do you agree with deductive reasoning?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I'm talking about, the mother plane. Okay. That's the same process I'm using.
Can we deduce that if we find 70% of the Nation of Islam's doctrine within particular Sufi orders, that it must have been a matriculation?
I don't. Yeah, and I will argue that there's not 70%. I will argue with that. I will make the argument that there is not 70%. No, because I know the doctrine well. Okay. I know the core doctrine well.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you a question.
I know the core doctrine well, brother. And I'm talking. Listen what I'm saying. I'm talking about from the mouth of Elijah Muhammad that's written, and from what they say is associated with Farad Muhammad. I know the written doctrine well, and no, it's not 70% associated with a Sufi order. And we can have that debate too.
I would rather speak in private with you. I'm not.
We can have that debate too. Well, your brother, take my email, brother. Listen, I'm hype on the show. That's how I do. But taharkabay@gmail.com, brother. We can speak in private. We can speak in private.
taharkabay@gmail.com.
Absolutely. But bro, I got to get ready to go, man. I know my wife probably going crazy right now.
Hey, you take care. And
brother, please make sure you email me. I think this was a very fruitful conversation. I think it was the best way to end it because it got a little bit hyper. And I really appreciate you calling in, brother. And thanks for your donation.
Take care.
Yeah, I appreciate you. So I really do appreciate that, brother, family, because we know it got a little bit heated in this demonstration, family. It got a little bit heated in this demonstration, family. At the end of the day, family. Even brothers like Father John and many people that make arguments, one thing that do get me worked up is all I hear is quoting. The last brother, he didn't quote much. He really was bringing logic to what he knew. You know what I'm saying? Or in other words, he gave explanation to what he have studied. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether I agree with that explanation or not is neither here nor there. But he actually was speaking from his own mind, and you have to appreciate that. You have to appreciate that. He was speaking from his own mind. He wasn't just quoting. And many times when you get in these conversations with any religious person, they really get into, and I'm a religious person, but not a religious in the typical sense where I'm just going to keep on quoting Prophet Noble Drew Ali and try to pound it to make you believe it. I can't make you believe Prophet Noble Drew Ali the way that I believe Prophet Noble Drew Ali. But what I can do, I can teach you what I've learned by the way of the teachers of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and articulate it so everybody can understand. So at the end of the day, I can't go quoting. We might can do that in the temple. We might can do that talking to Moors, but we can't do that talking to the public and think the public is supposed to just say, okay, he said it, so I believe it. That's not how the world works, and that's not how the world progresses towards the next step. But I thank all my guests. Thank Lukeman. I think I know Lukeman from Facebook. That special thanks to my sister, Empress. I hope I didn't cut anybody off too much. Y'all know I get excited. Please work with your brother. If I did, don't be offended by it. I'm just excited, and I love that we are having real conversations here on Moorish World TV, family. You know what I mean? We are having real conversations on Moorish World TV. And family, if you like these conversations, please make sure that you share and make sure you tell people that if they want real conversations about something that is maybe a little bit controversial, maybe a little bit to the left or to the right, and maybe not straight down the middle, man, come on here and just don't do no cussing, don't do no disrespectful stuff. Man, we can have a practical conversation and work with your brother, because sometimes the Hawker Bay get hyper and he might cut you off. He might cut you off. But I don't mean to. Man, I love y'all, man. The Moorish World TV audience, my brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam, assalamu alaikum, family. And then Sunday, we got the high priest, Melchizedek, the high priest of the Nation of Islam, is coming to Moorish World TV, and he gonna break it all the way down. Man, big up to my brothers in the Nation of Islam, man, that are willing to have this conversation and is not offended by my. I really appreciate that. I'm telling you. Thank you so much, Richard James, for the Cash App. Not the Cash App, the what they call this thing. You see, you can tell I don't even do this for money. What they call this thing? A donation. Let's call it the donation. But peace and love, family. I gotta go get my wife when she go ham on me. And y'all gotta let me sleep on y'all couch. Thank you so much, Thurman Smart. Peace and love. Oh man, this is a good one here. Peace and love. Super chat. That what it is. Super chat. You can tell I don't do this for money. I don't even know a super chat. I knew it was a minute ago, but I forgot. Anyway, peace and love, family. Let's go.